Do you want to do the recap first?
Just real quick, yeah, if that's okay.
I was climbing around. I had Elerie climbing around in a ship, getting into all sorts of trouble.
Oh, right.
Speaking of trouble, June made new dangerous friends.
Oh, yeah.
The most interesting gang in Waterdeep.
I'm not in a gang.
The Fabulous Four and Bretta Brightgleam went down into the sewer system of Waterdeep and speed run it
with lots of traps and some oozy stuff that we actually managed to get through.
You defeated a
whole one-hit KO.
But then now we've run into something a little more nefarious.
Oh yeah, the mega goop.
The mega goo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Captain Ooze.
Missing anything? Are we good?
Did Elerie commit murder this game or last game?
It was the last game.
It was the last game.
Last time,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, last game.
Elerie
Has
wants
to commit murder again, possibly.
But currently Elerie is on the deck of the Siren's Call, hiding, correct?
Yeah, that's what.
Well, yeah, mostly hiding and looking for an opportunity to cash in on that head. You know, like.
Yeah. Days since Elerie committed a capital crime is still at 0 at the minute.
And didn't Calder have like the best breakfast ever with?
Yeah. Hal had brunch with Filthy Meg. Hangover brunch.
You sound so giddy at that.
I am.
You love to see it.
You haven't had a mimosa until you've had it on the dock side of Waterdeep.
Shall we begin?
Yeah. The children that were scattered about the floor of the common room looked at the old man, waiting for a tale of faraway lands and heroic exploits. I suppose we were at the beginning then. The underdark, the grove, the sea, the palace, they all converged right there.
Harold, have you ever seen so many different kinds of people in such a big place? How hard could it be to find somebody that knows where Tailwind is?
You're a miracle, boy. I shake my head and quietly to myself say, there's no such thing as miracles.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a running start. I'll count to 30. 1, 2.
30, and then I'm gonna run at him and attack him.
You told me your history. I was born on that boat. Huh? That ship that your friend is dissecting.
I absolutely hate how chipper you always are.
And it'd be a good look on you, though.
If it's a riddle, I want to solve it. If it's a lock, I want to open it.
I'm a holy woman, and I'm looking for things that were taken from me and my people.
They could not begin to fathom the situation that they found themselves in. All right, bring yourselves back into the story, please. And I want you to close your eyes and start to think about where your characters were. Focus on a number of details about them, maybe things that you've not described before. We know what they wear, we know what their faces look like, we know what they carry with them. Try to be as descriptive as you can. And feel free to take the initiative when it comes to not only describing your actions, but the way in which those actions take place around you. The sound of a gull against the bright blue sky shrieks out. The lapping of the waves strike the well-worn, highly polished side of the galleon ship known as the Siren's Call. It is midsummer, and the heat of the sun above batters down upon that old ship as the sails fill with the air that is pushing this vessel further along the Sword Coast. Traveling out from Baldur's Gate had been fairly uneventful, although that city is teeming with life. The cargo that it holds, bound for the far north, means that there is hope for the future. The couple that owns and captains this ship have worked endlessly to ensure that their burgeoning family and crew were well taken care of. Edmund and Yvette Grail were quite well established as merchants in this region. They had spent their lives building something together. They had established themselves from very small beginnings, but their partnership eventually brought two things. This old galleon ship, the Siren's Call, and a family born of their love. Two young boys run across the main deck of the ship, and as the sails fill with air as they push forward, these young hellions giggle and laugh, chasing after each other. One, the younger, no more than 5 years old. The older, just a few summers beyond. The youngest, a mess of ragged blonde hair, streaming in the wind, chasing after his older brother, shouts and giggles happily, with the freedom and carefree nature that only children possess. Standing at the wheel, Captain Yvette Grail looked down at her children, smiling, but focused. Her husband, Edmund, as he often was wont to do, was staring through a glass off at the horizon, always navigating and thinking about where they were headed next. The more rigid business of the mapping and navigation of their undertakings was his responsibility, and one that he took quite seriously. Yvette was well respected by the entire crew, infinitely more personable than Edmund, but still the two worked together to ensure that each of their hauls were successful and that they were able to travel between the remote Western Isles and Karatur, from Baldur's Gate to the far north. The Grails were respected. The crew worked hard. The days were long, but the rewards were plentiful. The young blonde boy, Calder, named after Yvette's first mate who had passed away many years before, and his brother Dorian were unexpected blessings, both of them surprises. They were born here on this ship, in the middle of the sea. Their lives had begun here. This ship was the only home that they had ever known. They had learned how to walk here. Calder had begun climbing rope before that. And he understood rigging and the common tongue better than his brother, but Dorian was much more of his mother's son. Easy with people, well liked by the entire crew. And while Calder did have a certain charm to him, there was always a lingering separation. Something that seemed to separate the blonde-headed boy from the rest. Like his father, the young child would often be found staring out at the horizon, watching the waves move back and forth. Whether it was thoughts that were lingering on the future, or whether it was an expectation of what might come on that horizon, As the young boys chased each other, Calder stopped, and his eyes moved across that long, open, endless sea. It was a calm day. The wind was pressing them forward. It was warm, and sweat was dripping across his brow, his messy hair being blown back and forth, and his bright eyes fell upon the smallest of specks on that horizon. And though he was very young, it was a moment that Calder would never forget. As Edmund shouted out to the rest of the crew, very tight sense of panic spread slowly. It moved across the deck of the ship like a wave, and the well-trained sailors began taking their stations. From the crow's nest, a bell began to ring. The small boys were immediately snatched up by one of the crew and pushed to the side as ropes began pulling and the sails were opened to try to buy greater speed. The main mast was full, the foremast nearly there, and from the foredeck, a cannon was positioned. As the gun deck opened and the sirens' call prepared themselves for an attack. What seemed like an eternity passed before them. Dorian and Calder grabbed on to the finely aged, salt-peppered rails at the upper deck, pressing their faces closely through those open gaps, staring out at that horizon as a dark blotch began to resolve itself there on the horizon. Its sails were full and red. A shout from the crow's nest.
It be the Kraken's kiss! The Kraken's kiss is upon us!
More bells and panic as the weight of these words worked its way through the crew. It meant nothing to the young boys, but the sight of the ship that was approaching them, twice the size of the siren's call, did not bode well. It turned upon the sea and a volley was shot. Cannons opened from both sides. Smoke filled the air and the acrid stench covered the water with a fog of war. An enormous cracking sound shattered a large section of the main deck, and the mizzenmast trembled as if it might give way and fall. With deft hands and a sharp eye, Yvette Grail lent all of her focus to her work, gritting her teeth and cursing, her hat blown across the deck, grasping onto the wheel, hoping to avoid another blast from their cannon. It was at this point that Edmund Grail snatched up his two young sons and dragged them, kicking and screaming, into the captain's quarters. Pushing them both into an open dresser, he threw the double doors open, pushed the coats and garments back, and looked at both of his young boys. Dorian, I need you to take care of your brother. Can you do that for me?
Yes, Papa.
Calder, you are to obey your brother. Do you understand?
Aye, aye.
Your mother and I will always be here with you. As long as there's wind in our sails, you'll always find home. Edmund softly kissed the forehead of both boys and shut the door, leaving them in darkness. Gunshots rung out across the deck. The ship shook horribly. Dorian looked to Calder,
I have to see.
pushing his way out from the dresser. Out of that cabinet, the older brother moved quietly across the interior of the captain's cabin. Papers were strewn everywhere. There was smoke, and fire was lighting beyond the window of the deck. He creaked the door open. Then there were the sounds of boots moving slowly across wood. The younger boy, Calder, was left in the dark, alone. He began coughing from all of the smoke that was filling this room. Thick black gouts of it. Orange flames licking across the top of the deck, shouting from all around. It was confusing and frightening. The cabinet door creaked open. Standing there, Calder saw Dorian and a man that he did not recognize. A grizzled man, tall and dark, with ferocious-looking eyes that seemed wild. The brightest blue that Calder had ever seen. A finely manicured beard and mustache, and the fancy garb of a rich captain. From a saber, blood dripped onto the ground. His other hand was placed upon the shoulder of Dorian Grail.
What have we got here? A little mouse, eh? You'll be coming with me now. The name's Captain Balthazar Graves, and I be your master now.
In another time, in the city of Waterdeep, walking the streets of the dock ward, an adult Calder feels the salt air and the firm ground of the city beneath his boots. The young man walks with purpose about his daily routine, doing the work that the very intimidating mermaid had laid out before him, to gather the coin and the information that had been left behind. He had something new. Information about another pirate. Someone who had found their way into the city and had created a bit of a stir recently within the dock ward. A name is upon his lips, and he has something new to offer the mermaid, something that she will find quite useful. The priest of Tamora had been very clear. Perhaps it would lead to something of value, but regardless, pushing through the streets, Calder knew that maybe, just maybe, his luck was beginning to change. You have a few additional stops to make, Calder, as you go about your daily rounds. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
I think Cal's gonna pick up a snack. Is there like a cart nearby, maybe?
There is, yes. Off to the side, you see ragged-looking cart with a striped canvas awning stretched over it, and blue and green stripes are faded by the sun. There is a very, very ragged-looking tabaxi with orange fur and a bent ear and a pirate patch over one eye and a gold tooth that's like sticking out of their bottom jaw.
I love him.
They are selling dried fish and other delicacies of the dock ward, particularly this part of the dock ward, which is fairly ragged. It's been beat down, this section. There doesn't seem to be as much commerce here, and the commerce that does take place here is usually fairly illicit. However, this tabaxi looks over to you, seeing that you are kind of searching out a number of different options. This seems like the nearest. If you wish to continue on, if the dried fish doesn't hit a note for you, you can continue to move. However, the tabaxi does catch your eye with its one good eye, and it looks at you.
Hey, would you care for a dried fish, perhaps?
I think Cal would be well accustomed. Like it's like fish or die for him. So I think he's gonna go for it, even though it's not Az's favorite.
They're the best that you're going to find on this street. Here you are. 2 copper, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cal takes out some change, and he just, I think he would give a little more as sort of like a tip situation.
The tabaxi cat person looks at the coins in his open hand, which have sharp claws on them and fur across the back, and then smiles at you. But it's so strange that it almost feels intimidating, but you can tell that the tabaxi doesn't mean for it to be, but that it's just awkward to smile with his jaw set the way that it is.
I've heard tale of you around here recently. A big to-do about you working with Filthy Meg.
Uh-oh. Nothing too terrible, I hope.
No, nothing at all. I heard you stuck it to them magists good, though.
Oh, yeah, well, it was either that or join them at that point, so...
I don't think you were the type that would have done well within the mages. No.
You're very astute. Thank you. What's your name?
They call me Bones.
Amazing.
Yeah, never let it be said that I didn't take care of one of Meg's pups.
And then hands you another fish.
Oh, sorry, that was a me going, oh, the second fish. Oh, I love him. Cal takes the second fish. Oh, thank you, Bones. I'll be sure to let Meg know that you're taking good care of her people.
Hey, though, one last thing. Might be careful. City Watch have been around. There's been lots of rumors of something happening over at Anchor's Rest.
Cal squints for a second and it's like, what might be going on, do you know?
Ain't for me to know. I can't get anywhere near there. They won't even let me sell at my regular spot.
Oh, that's rude. Maybe I'll go, see what's going on. I'm feeling curious. I was gonna say lucky, but that's just tempting fate.
All right then, lad. You have a good day.
You too.
Come back and see Bones when you get hungry again. There'll be plenty of dried fish where that came from.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Cal walks away, and he, if he thinks that there are city guards that are going to be around more, he's just going to like bend down and like take a little bit of dirt and like smear it on his scars to like make it look like filth instead of defining.
A very defining characteristic that they could use to track you with.
Yes.
It's an excellent idea. So you do take some dirt and you smear it across your face, and you don't seem out of place here. You were perhaps a little too clean to be doing what you were doing anyway. So you do so, and you begin moving through the streets. June, you're standing in a rainy alleyway. It's dark here, even though it's midday. The storms have been rolling through Waterdeep ever since you arrived. You're currently watching your new companions go to work, they have stayed very true to the arrangement that has been made. They've promised to help you locate the shield that you seek, that holy item of Sylvanas that has been taken from the grove that you have protected for the majority of your life. Though they do not seem to care or question why this shield has such importance to you, they leave matters of faith unspoken, as it is clear that those of this organization, the Zentarum, who do follow the gods, follow much darker, more sinister entities. But they don't make you uncomfortable, and they don't ask you many questions. You have saved one of their number, and their code, as flexible as it might be, is very clear. They owe you a debt, and they intend to repay it. 3 of the organization have accompanied you, and currently they are deeper in the alley as you stand watch there in the rain. There is a rough-looking individual with a shaved head and a beard that is grayed. This older human has been thrown into a puddle, and you can see that it is now slowly filling with their blood as your 3 companions continue to beat upon this unfortunate soul. Their fists and their boots do quick work. You hear the cracking of bone and ribs as the individual shrieks in pain, and you stand there, doing as you were told. Keep watch. They didn't say what they were going to do, but now you're very, very aware. Mert Handlebrake, with a braid pulled tightly back and a rough, scar-pocked face, built for pit fighting, grits his teeth as he pulls back for another punch. His body is a network of tattoos and markings, scarifications. He wears leather armor and carries with him a very large bastard sword. No weapons are drawn at this point. His Uthra soul, barbaric in her size, holding a great axe in one hand, continues to kick with fur-lined boots. The half-elven rogue, Dev, is the name that you have heard, but you're not certain about that one. Slinks in the darkness, striking quickly and then retreating backwards, always lingering on the edge of darkness, careful in their movements, dodging back and forth as their foe shrieks out in pain. The twins that you had encountered, Fane and Veer, are not here, nor is Yarazat, the thief that you saved. After what feels like an excruciatingly long time, there is a pause as Mert stands back, cracking his knuckles loudly. Uthra, seemingly bored, walks over, pulling a flask out from a bag and drawing heavily of some brew.
Who is this guy?
It was a member of a rival gang. They had told you not to interfere, but that they were going to interrogate some of the local filth, with the hope that they would get information that would lead them to the shield that you seek.
This guy is basically beaten to a pulp right now, yeah.
It looks as if he has very little time left.
Hey, not to be a party pooper, but are you sure this is what we should be doing right now? With this person? I mean, they're clearly not saying anything.
Mert looks back and smirks at you. Dev is sulking in the shadows, but Uthra Soul turns to you and smiles very broadly. Yeah, look, if you wish to do a little work on your own, we would not be opposed if you wish to work them a bit yourself.
Forgive me, I'm just not sure if they actually know anything. So I just want to know how you know that this person would know something.
We don't.
Right.
But we ain't gonna ever find anything if we don't try, love. You gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet.
Crack! His fist flies down on the face of the man who is sobbing on the ground in the puddle next to him, and his head bounces off the cobblestone with a loud thud.
I ain't gonna ask you again. Where is the stolen goods that were shipped in here 2 nights ago? Which warehouse is it, you turd?
Wait. June's gonna. Oh God, I freaking fling myself onto the ground next to the guy in front of him. I grab his face, and I'm just like, "Hey, dude, this can be over quick." I know.
It fucking broke my jaw.
If you know anything, you might want to tell us now. I don't think they're gonna stop, and honestly, I don't know if I could stop them. So if you have any information, you need to tell us now.
Make a persuasion check, please.
15.
All right, I'll fucking talk.
Okay. Guys, just give us a little room.
Fish got Allie.
Who, Allie?
Fish got Allie.
Fish got Allie. Does that ring a bell to any of you guys?
Oh, it does. Looky what we got. We got some answers here. Well, might as well take care of the trash.
And Mert begins moving in on the man lying on the ground.
Wait. Mert. Maybe we can take him with us in case it's not actually there.
Oh, you want us to carry this dead man with us? Why? Do you know him?
I don't know him, but if he's wrong, you could do whatever you want, I guess. I hope you wouldn't, but...
See? I told you. She is much smarter than you, Mert.
You shut your fucking face, Uthra.
I agree with the cleric. We take him along. And that way, if he's lying, we start cutting fingers off.
June leans down onto the beaten man. I really hope that you told the truth, because neither you nor I want you to die tonight.
Fish got Allie. Warehouse 34. I know there's something happening there, but I'm telling you now, the Xanathars are going to kill me anyway. You might as well do it yourself.
Well, I'm always one to oblige.
Wait. Maybe, if he's telling the truth, we could just let him go. As like it's a reminder not to mess with you guys and your gang. Come on. The way he looks right now, if he's alive and he's right, they're gonna know to never step on your turf. Just saying.
I agree. June is right.
Fine. Ruining my fucking day.
Oh, I'm sure you have plenty of people you can beat up. It'll be fine.
And you can tell that Mert grudgingly steps away, but he does respect you after the interaction that you and he had the other day. Picking up the ragged, beaten man with one arm, Uthra the barbarian reaches down and just lifts him up effortlessly, her muscles glistening in the rain as she kind of carries him like a sack of potatoes. The group moves down deeper into the dock ward, following the instructions that you have earned from this beaten thug of the Xanathar gang. Elerie, you are on the deck of the ship that you know so well. It's nighttime, and you are hidden behind a barrel. There are sounds below deck. The guards are moving back and forth in this area, and there seems to be some amount of protection that has been afforded this dry dock ship. It is hanging from rope and tether from a large building with a very impressive crane that has been affixed to it. This section of the dock ward utilizes a mixture of engineering and magic to maintain many of the vessels that enter into the dock ward of Waterdeep. It is not uncommon for a ship to be brought onto land to be repaired when needed. However, the Siren's Call, while it had some superficial damage from the journey that you and the others had returned from in the Moonshay Isles, it was largely unharmed. And this seems extreme to you. However, you are now 3 stories above ground on the deck of a ship, surrounded by city guard, knowing that you have only a small amount of time before that captain decides that his goodwill is spent and that whatever it is that you are doing is not, in fact, blessed by the Inquisitors. And so you're hidden behind this barrel. What do you wish to do?
I'd like to just listen and see if I have an opening to jam open the door.
The door that leads below deck across the main deck, is that correct?
The door that's going to get me to the captain's quarters.
You had attempted to do so before, but it was locked. So you wait, and I will have a perception check that I am going to make. You hear the footsteps of the guard that had stepped above deck earlier, seeking out some noise that you had caused. The guard shouted a few times and then turned and then walked back below deck. You hear those boot steps moving further and further away towards the fore of the ship. Everything seems quiet. Do you wish to make another attempt at the door?
Yes. And I have a tool now, so I feel like I can go at it a little bit, pressure into it. I mean, it's an old ship. I mean, it's been around. Perhaps this door will be easily opened.
Perhaps. You have the tool that you've gained from the deck of the ship, and you move your way back towards the captain's chambers. You slot the tool into a crack on the door itself and pull heavily against the hinge, hoping that maybe the door would pry open. Let's make a strength check. That's a 10. It's not a horrible roll, but it certainly isn't enough to get this very sturdy door open. There's a cracking noise, and you continue to pull as you lean into it. If you wish to be less cautious, it would be possible to put more of your strength into it. Are you willing to potentially sacrifice your hidden position to try to open this door?
Yes, I'm going to go for it.
Then I will allow you to make another strength check with an advantage, but I also need you to make a stealth check with a disadvantage.
So does that mean roll strength twice and the other one twice?
Absolutely. But you're going to take the higher on the strength check and the lower on your stealth check. So a 12 is your strength check. And now let's see how you did with your stealth check. You rolled a 10.
We're very average here. Average Elerie.
This could be far worse and it could be far better. However, with those rolls, you do not open the door, but you also do not make an overt amount of noise. You do make some noise, and your feet kind of scrabble against the well-worn boards of the Siren's Call as you pry backwards. You have so many memories of this door and the captain's chambers. The cabin itself has always been well protected, and knowing what happens oftentimes on mercantile ships, this door has been reinforced, and there has been a great deal of care put into the iron and steel work that keeps it locked and closed. You don't feel that you're going to be able to easily pry this open. I'm going to make a perception check now for the guards below deck. And if they succeed, they're going to be aware that something's happening above deck.
Oh no. Can you hear the alarms going off?
I don't know if you heard the natural 20 that I just rolled, but that's exactly what happened. It didn't confirm 2 natural 20s, but a little different for me when I roll those.
Wait, you get the 2 natural 20 thing too?
I give it to I give it to NPCs, and I decide how bad something is based on that.
Oh, okay.
Or how good for you. If they roll natural ones, I do the same thing. So an NPC would also have a potential to catastrophically fail or catastrophically succeed.
Oh no.
Okay. Oh no.
I like living the extremes, you know. So with that said, Elerie, you are greeted by a strange silence after you made your second attempt prying at that doorway. In the name of the City Watch of Waterdeep, I demand that you show yourself, thief.
Terrified to respond. Okay. Do they know that I'm here? Like, am I making eye contact with them, or is this kind of like they're just yelling into the night still?
Well, you don't know if they see you or not. They've just made an announcement. Would you like to make an insight check?
Yes, please.
I will give it to you at a disadvantage.
So roll twice?
Yes, take the lower. Still at 12. So, yeah, you don't believe that they see you yet. From the sound of their voice, it was more trying to scare out anyone who was present. They tried the same thing before when you'd made noise earlier. So you don't think that they see you, but you are not certain.
But this is like the second time that they've yelled up here, which means they're gonna get like real suspicious and start investigating much further, probably. This isn't good. I think I really just want her to try and hide, but she wants to climb away from where she's been making the noise.
So you're going to try to move out of this position and climb around on the outskirts of the ship?
There's like water under there, or is it like
No.
ground? It's ground, okay.
It's cobblestone, rainy streets. The ship is wet from the rain.
Yep. But I got my boots on, right?
You do indeed, yeah, you do.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of this, and we're gonna try and get in through a window somewhere.
Right.
You're trying to get in through, hide in through a window.
Okay, so what I need you to do is probably to first make a very careful stealth check, please.
Come on, average, Elerie.
That's an 11. So you have not broken away from 10, 11, or 12 the entire time that you've been rolling, which is good in the sense that you are not catastrophically failing any of these rolls.
I like that.
However, you're also not succeeding on any sort of spectacular level. Let me see if they notice you sneaking across the deck, trying to move over the rails to the side of the ship. They do not.
Yes.
So you manage to slip over the rail of the side of the Siren's Call and place your feet upon the 3-inch runner that works its way along the back of the ship itself, around the poop deck and down over to the captain's quarters windows. And you grab on to the side railing and start working your way slowly over the side of the ship. It is raining, it is dark, and it is very slick. You are a skilled sailor, but this is dangerous. Is there anything else that you wish to do before you continue on?
Nope. Yep, that's it. I think that's all I got.
All right, Elerie. I want you to make an acrobatics check. 19 is very good.
Yes, thank you. She really wanted this one.
So you were carefully moving your way along the side of the ship, and to your credit, your hands are very deft and move very skillfully across the old wood. Your boots find purchase with each step as you slide your way out to the back of the ship. And soon enough, you make your way to where the captain's quarters are. And you see the murky, aged glass that is leadened with crosshatches all the way across the open area that leads into the captain's quarters. This glass is waving and hard to see through. It isn't clear, and the rain that's washing across it makes it even more difficult to see. But as you stand there, precariously perched, you see the flicker of a single candle flame and a silhouette moving inside the cabin. Someone is already there. Underneath the city of Waterdeep, in a safe house, filled with mechanical traps and security measures meant to deter any would-be thieves, Maglo, Hawke, and Doddle stand in a chamber. A smear of filth works its way across the stone floor. Where the gray ooze once stood, there is now but a smudge where the creature had existed. Lining the back wall of this chamber are giant-kin suits of armor, enormous, covered in dust. These armors are peculiar here. They stand at attention, silent sentinels to this place. There are a number of boxes, crates, and baskets here. There is a cage that is hanging from one corner that has a pair of slightly blue glowing songbirds inside of it, and they are chirping wildly as you and your companions work your way across the space. Bretta Brightgleam, a coarse, very dirty dwarven woman, has led you here upon the instructions of Phineas Fiddlescratch, where you are to retrieve an enameled box held by the group known as the Grasping Eye. Siraye had managed to unbolt a large steel door that was blocking another chamber in front of you. In doing so and opening the door, a pseudopod of strange, red, slimy wetness shot forth, grabbed Siraye, and pulled her into the chamber beyond.
Right, I forgot about that.
Oh no.
It's fine. We got you. This is the beginning of the Power of Friendship arc.
I don't think the slime is made of friendship.
No, I don't think the slime is made of friendship.
I think you just did.
It's made of slime.
No, it's fine. This is fine. She's fine.
As the rest of the room is on fire, Doddle just says,
fine.
"It's fine. This is all fine."
That's
actually
the core of my entire character.
Everything is okay.
And it's a fire from her own magic.
Yeah.
Alright, wait, are we in control now? Is it time? Are we to save Siraye?
I don't. Oh, sorry, I was talking as Doll. I don't think anybody's in control right now.
Today, Doddle will be played by Mike.
Wait, are we going?
Each of you witness this, standing there. I am going to make a series of perception checks. Doddle, and I can't believe this. Okay, I need Doddle and Hawke to both roll. You both have rolled natural ones on your perception check, and I would like for you to see if you confirm either of those rolls. Doddle,
Almost.
a 7.
Are you kidding me?
Dice buddies.
Lucky 7s. So very, very good.
So y'all don't see me get taken by the ooze. I feel is what's about to happen.
You're a rogue. You're naturally quiet.
It's just like gone.
I'm gonna open up this chest real quick. You guys do whatever you're doing.
And we just get on with the mission and we leave. And it's like, are we missing someone? Nah.
We forgot
That's how Siraye died.
So what I will say here is that Bretta, in the moment that this occurs, pulls the very large sword. I mean, the sword that she carries is a massive blade. It's dwarven in make and flat and very wide like a cleaver. She pulls this blade off of her back and throws herself up against the wall as flat as she can make herself. She is a very broad dwarf. She's easily twice as wide as Hawke is. Just shoulders that are massively strong. And her finely braided little goatee kind of jiggles back and forth as her dirty face like immediately falls into this almost animalistic pounce position with her blade in hand, ready to move at a moment's notice. She moves very quickly and very quietly. Bretta has guided you this far, and you can see that under her breath, she's slightly cursing herself for not having seen this coming. And since neither of you reconfirmed your natural one, you have just failed to notice anything. However, Maglo, along the inner workings of the doorway that Siraye has just opened, you see a faintly glowing series of runes around the threshold, and they are fading slowly away.
Oh, they should not be doing that. Or oh, nice. I'm glad we did that type of way.
They are slightly glowing runic symbols that seem to have magical import. If you'd like to make an Arcana check, I could perhaps tell you more, Maglo.
Yeah, that would be nice. Aw, 10.
Today's just the average day.
Everyone is straight down the middle.
Just wait for me to make any roll.
Do you have a flash of genius left?
I do.
Do you wish to use it here, or do you want to use it somewhere else?
I think he's gonna wait for now.
All right. So you're uncertain. You do not think that it could possibly be good, though, because whoever put it there was expecting this to be triggered when the door was opened.
Guys, there's some runes there which are kind of like a trap thing that are lessening or alerting or causing something to happen. That's definitely not good.
I'm sorry, what?
There.
Sorry, I was like totally zoning out there. What's going on?
What do we do?
Maglo points up to the top of the door. Can he see Siraye?
You all saw Siraye get pulled forcibly into the darkness of this chamber by a red tentacle-like pseudopod that shot out, grabbed around her, and pulled her in.
I am not focusing on the right thing right now.
Pay attention! She's gonna need your aid. Quickly! Be ready.
All right.
I'm losing prestidigitation grasp. I can comprehend. Is she speaking in another language? I can comprehend another language.
Maglo still has light cast, I believe. Can you shine it into the room?
Well, you can't direct it any further in. You could, whatever source of light you've cast the spell onto, you could throw into the room.
Yeah, he's gonna chuck it into the room.
Okay, what is it?
It's kind of
that
just
wand,
like a
right?
flashlight. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you toss that into the room, and I'm going to go ahead and move us into initiative order. We're going to stay with where we were last session.
I'm okay with that.
For once, I rolled well on initiative.
Everyone but Maglo rolled well, but we're going to re-roll next round. We're just going to stay with this because this was mid-action, all right? So, Siraye, you're going to be acting first, and what I need you to do is to make an acrobatics or an athletics check to break out of the grapple that you are currently within.
Okay, I'm going to do acrobatics because I have a higher score.
I see acrobatics 11, so you do not break loose.
We're just average, team. Team average.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this middle of the road. Nox is the only person that can roll either a 20 or a 1.
You are not able to break loose. I do need you now to make a wisdom saving throw, please, Siraye.
All right, so I'm like struggling. All these little goops keep like grabbing my arm and pulling it back as I
It's hard for you to tell what is happening. There is a wash of red, thick, viscous fluid that is wrapping around you tightly, and it seems to be tightening every moment that you stay here.
Ugh. And it's wisdom saving throw?
It's a wisdom saving throw, please.
Woof.
That is a 13, but you got...
Oh man, that was almost a 1. It sat on that 1 for a second, and then
I thought it was a 1. Yeah,
I was like, whoa.
You can have a 13 as a trait.
And I thought for sure that you would roll the 1, but
yeah, I was like, I'm out, I'm dead. Bye guys. It's all on you now.
All right, so Siraye, you are Okay.
That always worries me when Nox gets quiet like that.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
If he says interesting, we're done for.
Who's ready for a TPK today?
Nox doesn't have dice. I've actually seen it. He just has a coin that he's flipping.
You just have a series of strings, like in Hercules, that he just snitches based on what happens.
Siraye, you're
Every
going
time.
to take 14 points of damage.
Oh!
Oh, okay then.
Hot baby.
And it is psychic damage.
Oh.
So what does
Oh.
that mean? It's
Oh,
even
no.
worse.
I'm going to tell you what it means.
Oh, great.
Oh
Awesome.
no.
So we're going to... You feel these wet, sticky tendrils working their way around you, Siraye, as you're fighting back. You feel one of the pseudopods push its way across your face into your nose and mouth and start to work its way down your throat.
Oh no.
As immediately your eyes roll into the back of your head and you start violently shaking as you're no longer in the chamber. You're standing on the precipice of an icy cliff, looking over the jagged mountain range that the temple that you trained within was seated upon. And as you look out and the cold air briskly washes across your face, you see the plumes of steam work its way out of your mouth, and you forget for a moment that you are in danger. You forget that you are being attacked by some horrific ooze. You feel yourself centered upon the rock that you are standing, and you realize that you are balancing yourself on one foot, and your arms are outstretched. You are holding a rock in each hand, and you are unmoving. No one else is here with you. This is a solitary moment where your training and you were the only entities in this place, this wide, vacant, empty part of the world that is so easily forgotten about by others. And off in the distance, on a mountain ridge far too distant for you to easily be able to see, you know that there is a dark, twisted tree, one that you have fixed your mind upon. It is a shadowy reflection of another tree that so long ago meant so very much to you. You feel the pain working its way through your arms, but your meditative stance has allowed you to ignore it all. And then, with a shudder, you realize that the cold, bracing wind and the plumes of smoke that are issuing forth from your mouth in this memory are not real. You remember everything that's happening to you in the moment, and you begin fighting again as you immediately see everything around you. These red, slimy tendrils wrapped about you as you fight your way free of them. Hawke, what are you doing?
I see all of this, right?
No.
Oh.
You saw Siraye being pulled back into the room, and that's all that you see. Maglo is going to throw a light into the space, but will not do so until after you and Doddle act.
Do I have enough movement to be able to get to where she was?
Yes, easily. Bretta
Yeah.
Brightgleam is on the other side of the door, back pressed against the stone wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there. Bretta, what happened?
You are now standing in front of the open doorway and have elicited an attack of opportunity. So I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
That's great for 14.
All right.
Average.
Another tendril, a pseudopod, shoots out from the darkness and does not grab onto you, but does hits you firmly in the chest as there is a loud clanging noise as your plate armor rattles beneath your jaw as you are pushed backwards. You take 12 points of damage, and you are flung 20 feet back onto the ground. So you are prone. So that is the end of Hawke's turn. Doddle, it's now your turn. What would you like to do?
I played a day's worth of Baldur's Gate. Let's go! Okay, can I walk across the goop?
This goop doesn't exist anymore. This is a stain on the floor.
Gross.
That is left over from the gray ooze that you defeated.
Okay, can I please walk so I'm right in front of Hawke, please, and thank you.
Okay, so you're going to move over in front of Hawke.
Yeah.
And you easily do so.
Can I have a cool, power of friendship moment where I, run in front of him and, this tiny little green thing, puts her arm out in front of you, to protect you? Even though she's, 1/3 your size. I'd like to cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp, please. What do I need for that? She reaches into her pockets and takes... she has a small doll, and she takes it apart and then chucks the hand into where Siraye is. And it says, I pick 5 feet of... It says unoccupied space on the ground. Does that count if it's occupied by goop?
The goop doesn't count as occupied.
All right, I just want to grab the goop. There's a lot of text in here. Give me a second. Target must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The ground in front of it, a enormous hand kind of erupts out of it, right? And you can then roll. I believe you got the saving throw is going to be required. Huge ass failure.
Yay!
So you can roll your damage.
Okay. I do 7 and 10.
So you've done 10 bludgeoning damage. So with that, the hand reaches forward, grabs onto something in the darkness, and you see this red viscous fluid, this kind of ooze, immediately kind of rise up underneath it as it shoves it into the ceiling and kind of it smashes it there about 20 feet overhead.
Does it make a splat?
It does make a splat noise, but you kind of notice that it's dripping through the cracks in the rock and reforming itself around it. And Bretta Brightgleam looks at you and immediately shouts out, "Oh, we last, no! Use fire if you've got it!"
I didn't want to hurt Siraye. Okay. I will next time.
Do what you can, lass.
Okay.
Bretta begins to prepare themselves for an attack themselves as the earthen grasp kind of stands there as the elemental ridge of stone continues to kind of work its way around. However, it does look as if this ooze is not as affected by the bludgeoning as you would expect it to be. It doesn't have bones, it doesn't have anything. So in doing that, you're kind of repositioning it more than anything else. With that, Maglo, it is now your turn. Do you wish to still throw the light into the space?
Yes. Maglo's going to run past Doddle in a line of one person prone on the ground, which is Hawke, Doddle holding their hand out in a friendship, and Maglo standing in front of Doddle purely because that's the best way he can get this shot off. As he's running, there's screws falling on the ground as he's unbuckling this torch, and he pulls it out and he throws it. It's a clear shot. We can definitely see it now. It's not necessarily in the darkness.
It's lingering back into an unlit chamber, but as you get closer with the light, it is now lit, and you see that there is something there in front of you.
Beautiful. He is running toward it. I tell you what, we'll switch it. As he's running toward, he's instead flicking through his bag, and he pulls out this long metal, almost looks like a pen. It's that kind of thin cylinder shape. He clicks it like you would a pen, and these tiny little long points unfurl, and he puts it into the top of his rifle, and the points grab onto the end and kind of ease itself in and out like it's someone who is getting into a cannon. Right, do you see that elf right there? I'm gonna need you to make sure she doesn't get hit. And he's gonna cast Sanctuary on Siraye as he aims it and fires it. And as he fires this tiny little pencil thing, its arms like open and try to grab onto Siraye as a little shield is like being like formed on its back.
Like a little metal stick bug?
Like a little metal stick bug that forms a shield on its back and is going to try and grab onto Siraye.
This gun is loaded with hugs.
Can I see Siraye?
You see a silhouette that you think is Siraye.
Well, in that case, I'm going to cast Sanctuary. You ward a creature within range against an attack. Until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or a harmful spell has to make a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail it, they have to choose a new target or they lose the attack. So this little bug is like crawling around what I assume is Siraye with this little shield, and anytime it tries to lash out, it's going to try and like divert its attention. So Siraye doesn't get hit.
So the stick bug mechanical device does in fact hit the target, and the dark shape is in fact Siraye. Siraye, you feel this shield work its way around you just as these tendrils were drawing tighter and tighter. Did you have any other actions that you wanted to do this round?
I do have an action. After he fires it, he drops his rifle and he's going to take out his pistol from his back pocket, and he's going to try and fire the pistol at the creature.
You're going to shoot. Go ahead and roll to strike.
Yeah, sure. That's a +4. That's a 13.
I actually do believe that you're going to. Nope. Actually, you do hit, but the shot kind of is drawn into the red ooze, and you can see that the musket ball is kind of just ejected back out at you. It's not in any sort of momentum that would harm you, but it just kind of hits the ground and rolls out of the way.
Okay. And Maglo picks up the gun and is flicking through his stuff again.
Okay. At the end of the round, Siraye, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, thank the gods.
So, Siraye, you are ejected out of the grasp of this ooze. However, you are not ejected back into the room that you came from.
Oh.
You immediately find yourself in the chamber over here on the other side.
No.
I can't see anything in there, though.
It is very dark.
Oh, no.
Do I take any damage from that, or is it just a...
Nope. You, in fact, it's effectively you were broken out of the grasp of the creature. Meanwhile, June, you're in a far different situation in this moment. You and your companions have ushered your newfound friend through the streets of the dock ward and have made your way up a street known as Fish Gut Alley. As you're walking, Mert is keenly keeping an eye to the left and the right. There's a fair amount of business that is occurring here. There are some merchants and some small ships and boats that have been overturned and are being repaired, the swinging of hammers and other work that takes place here. However, as you and your companions move through the streets, you notice that all of the common folk of this area immediately look down and avoid eye contact with you and those that you're traveling with.
Ugh. That's it? They just look down?
They know their place and they know the Zentarum when they see it. They know better.
I bet it's been a while since you've seen that sort of respect, eh, hon?
And you feel like an elbow in your rib.
I don't think I've ever had that kind of respect. I'm guessing you've roughed quite a few people, huh?
We do what we have to do to make sure that they understand who's in charge here.
June can feel like her moral code acting up, and she's like, oh god, just keep it together, girl.
I take it you don't approve.
Your methods are not exactly what I would use, but at the same time, who am I to judge?
That's good to hear. Excellent.
The others continue to move through as you continue to walk further down the street. And as you start to approach the area that has been described to you by the battered man that you're dragging behind you, you see a line. A wagon has been overturned. A fire has been set in the middle of the street. And there are 4 thugs, large, muscular, and imposing, with red armbands, all blocking your progress down the street.
All right, fellas. And maiden. Strong maiden. Maybe we should find another route, yeah?
Let's go through them. And she picks up the individual that you've carried with you, breaks his neck, and throws him over her head at the people in front of you. Mert smiles and draws his sword and starts charging forward as the Dev, the half-elf, rolls into the shadows and throws a series of daggers down the road. You are standing there in the middle of the street as a gang fight has just broken out.
Oh, bruh!
What would you like to do, June?
Honestly, June just stands there in shock, and then she shakes herself and takes out her thorn whip, and she gets ready.
I believe the turn is roll initiative, please.
I don't want to. I guess the neck breaker is on my side, so.
Okay, so 12 on your initiative. You draw your thorn whip, and we'll come back to you. Elerie, you're hanging on the back of the Siren's Call. You look down for a moment, and you see 3 stories below, jagged wood that has been stacked here haphazardly, a broken scaffolding, and you feel the slow rocking of the ship back and forth on all of the pinions and ropes used to hoist it above ground. And inside the leaden glass, you see the silhouette and that single candlelight flicker. What do you want to do?
You know what? I think now's the time to really just aggress hard on this situation, just to kind of own it. So she, if possible, would like to use unarmed strike on the window and just crash into whatever party is happening in there.
Interesting. I'll allow it. All I need you to do is to make an acrobatics check. You don't need to break the glass. I'll figure out if you can do that here on this side.
Oh, your face, God. Well, so it's I think about this is Calder's family ship. How I don't want to ruin all of it, Okay.
Stop blowing holes in my ship.
We need that for plot.
It's a very good roll. 19. So you hurl yourself forward, and expecting the window to shatter underneath you, it swings open, and you roll into the captain's quarters. The room is dark, with the single exception of the flickering candle, and you smell ash and a strange, musky herbal smell that seems to permeate the entire space.
I would
roll initiative.
Yep, there we go. Oh, goodness.
19. You get to act first. There's a shadowed figure in the corner that steps back away from the window quickly. What would you like to do?
They step back?
They step back away from you.
I'm gonna move forward with my fists up, and what are you doing in the hull of the ship?
Roll an intimidation check, please. Okay. Make an acrobatics check, please. All right. This individual, without saying a word, dark cloak wrapped around them. You don't see a face. In fact, you think that the face might be masked. Steps forward and grabs you, pushing you back out the window.
Okay, you got me. Surprise! I'm very surprised. Thank you.
You topple out the back, and as you begin to fall, Elerie, you realize that you have one opportunity to catch yourself before it's too late. Go ahead and make either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
we've been going acrobatics, so we're gonna go for that, and let's see what she does for us.
So average, so very, very average. You fall away from the ship, and you don't manage to catch yourself soon enough to still keep a grasp on the ship itself, but you do manage to lash your arms out wildly as you grab onto a part of scaffolding that is hanging nearby, and you pull yourself on a board that breaks underneath you, and then grab onto one of the ropes that is used to hoist the entire thing above ground. You are going to take 6 points of damage as you pull your arms roughly and take some bruises as you fall downward, but you do manage to save yourself from what certainly would have been a horrible death, falling below on the sharpened boards that were below you. And you can see them like 10 feet below you now, just jagged pieces of lumber that have been scattered out here, metal bars and other things that are fully a pincushion of debris below you. And so you're hanging there by the rope, and looking up for a moment, you see this shadowed figure stepping out from the back of the hall, and without any sort of grip, walking across the side of the ship as if their hands were magically attached to the ship itself, and very quickly skitter across like an insect, disappearing away from you.
And I'm on the outside of the ship now?
Oh, you're definitely on the outside of the ship as rain falls down around you, as you feel your grip like slowly kind of slip away from the rope. We'll come back to you. Inside of the storehouse for the grasping eye, Hawke, what are you doing?
I've been knocked down. I know I have to use my movement action to get up. Okay, all right. Giant red goose thingy. Do I see it at all, or?
Yeah, there's an undulating red mass beyond the doorway.
All right. And because I was knocked down, I can't move towards it this turn, right?
You can stand, but you can then move at half movement.
Okay, I'm gonna get as close as I can. So maybe ahead of Maglo and Doddle, because I want to put myself between the two of them. So I just kind of like, I get up and I just kind of nod to Doddle, and like I just put a gauntleted fist on, oh god, this is gonna sound way cooler than it is, but basically what I do is I put like a gauntleted hand like on Maglo's shoulder, and I kind of pull him back, and I raise my other hand, and I'm gonna shoot 2 beams of Eldritch Blast at the creature.
Okay, go ahead and roll the strike, please, Hawke.
All right. Oh, actually, bonus action. I am going to use my Vow of Enmity, which gives me advantage on attacks against it for the next minute. As I do this, this is going to be so weird for Maglo, but I put my hand on his shoulder, and as I push him aside, I whisper in Celestial, Zendrich Inferion.
I don't think Maglo speaks Celestial. But...
He does speak Celestial.
Oh, you do? So
Oh yeah, so you heard me whisper. Yeah, basically I whisper, I'm gonna get this fucker in Celestial, as I shoot off 2 beams of Eldritch Blast with advantage. So first one is boom, boom.
Yeah, definitely hits. It takes damage. Go ahead and roll again then for your second attack.
Awesome. So the second attack is also advantage. So 1, 2, and it is 9 plus 13.
Okay, so again, you blast this blobish creature in front of you, and it does. You hear in your head a strange like shriek as it echoes out, and this feels particularly discomforting to you, Hawke, as these sort of psychic reverberations seem all too familiar to you. But as your Eldritch Blast shoots forth from your gauntleted hands, and these dark purple-black raven energies shoot forth with a shrieking grasp into your opponent, they explode outward, and this undulating red mass. And it almost sounds human as it is hit. There's an explosion for a moment of a blast of energy, and when it sort of resolves itself, you see Siraye in the doorway, on her hands and knees, grappling away from the creature, rolling outward.
Ooh.
And then smoke just issuing off of this slimy form. Hawke, that's the end of your turn unless you have a bonus action or anything.
I already used my bonus action.
Okay, you did to do the
vow of I hate you, yeah.
The vow of I hate you, canon. Doddle, it's now your action. What would you like to do?
What's in between us and the slime monster? Is it a door?
Well, the door is open. It is a archway, and there were faintly glowing runes that have faded away in that threshold. Now, Bretta is standing there ready to attack. Siraye is on the ground in front of you all.
Is she's still behind the door?
She's on the in the threshold. She's not quite through the threshold.
Is the door made of wood?
No, the door is a very large metal door. It's finely, intricately carved, and it has the hand with the eye grabbing onto it in the center. And if you recall, there was a bit of a mechanism that had to be adjusted to open the door.
Okay, I was maybe gonna set the door on fire, but scrap all that. Okay, we're just gonna do something pretty basic, I think. Doddle's gotta run up to... Alright, I just want to be able to see the goop.
You can definitely see the goop, Doddle.
Cool, I'd like to fling some fire at it, please, thank you. I'd like to cast Scorching Ray and just go...
Okay, so your little hands reach out and Scorching Ray issues forth. Go ahead and roll.
23, 12, and 20.
All of this fire starts issuing out in these little licks of flame from your hands as you are outstretched right in front of this creature. And immediately...
Oh, no.
Siraye looks up at you, and her eyes are filled with terror, and her face starts to melt as her whole form and body rescind back into the red ooze in front of you.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh.
That's a lot to process. Okay.
I'll have a little trauma from this
Oh
now.
no. So, Oh no. Okay.
I know that this was the episode we were all going to be friends from, but I didn't think it was going to be trauma bonding.
Not anymore.
Where's Siraye then? Is she in the goop?
You just saw her melt into goop in front of you.
Siraye's dead.
Smoke is issuing off of this red mass, and it is immediately pushing away from you as fast as it can. All right, unless you have anything else, Doddle, Maglo, it's your turn. You witness all this in front of Doddle, and it's the shrieks echo through this entire chamber. I do want you to make another Arcana check as the last of those runes kind of fade away.
17.
That is an alarm spell.
Oh no.
Has it been active? Like, is that last rune dying out mean? Is that like on a timer?
You did not roll well enough for me to tell you the specifics.
Fuck. I can't use a flash of genius to bump that up to a 21, can I? Not now.
Not
it's
now.
way too late.
Yeah.
Fuck. Right, we don't have time for this. Maglo's gonna, again, puts his hand in his bag and pulls out what looks like a small hob, like an oven hob, just a singular one on a little wheel. And he's gonna, he chucks it toward the slime, and the as it hits the ground, the little wheel like and then goes to underneath the slime and then explodes as it like fills with gas, and then the hob clicking like explodes it out, and he's going to cast Flaming Sphere on it. Which,
all right.
It needs to make a Dexterity saving throw,
which it probably will not.
What about Siraye?
No, it does not.
Would I also need to make that throw?
We'll get to you in a moment.
5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears as it's being produced by this thing. It takes 2d6 fire damage.
Please roll the damage.
Doodle-doo.
As you hit right here.
7 average. Okay. Well, slightly higher than average.
All right. So while all of this is happening, Bretta looks to all of you and
and nods. Oh yeah, that's it. Keep attacking it with fire. And she smashes a vial of oil onto her blade and hits it with a stone. And the blade immediately ignites into flame.
Cool.
And she turns and swings this massive blade into the darkness, pushing you aside, Doddle, swinging at the center mass of this and taking a strike from one of the pseudopods as it lunges out at you. She swings in front of you just in time as her blade slashes through this red ooze, and with the flame upon it, it immediately shrieks and pulls back again as it's pushing itself as far back into the corner as it can go. At the end of the round, immediately the red ooze starts to disappear, and there is a small grate on the floor that you can see that it's rescinding into. The room is now mostly open. Bretta pushes forward. Siraye, you're lying on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to make a sleight of hand check, please.
Mm-hmm.
As you lie on the ground, Siraye, you realize that you were very lucky because the room that you're in currently has a metal vault door in front of it with another of those metal hands with the eye inset into the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a white orb in the center there.
Mm-hmm.
And the orb looks as if it is slowly moving around.
Like it's moving, like seeing?
Yes, but only at eye level.
Okay,
You're
so
on the ground.
I'm gonna stay down, and I'm gonna try and go up to the door.
All right, so you crawl towards the door
and stay out of its vision.
Make a stealth check.
Does it seem like it could hear?
You don't know.
I can roll on it with advantage on stealth. Did 2
Yep.
roll? Okay, good. Yeah, give me that 25.
25.
Baby. Yeah, so good.
All right.
That's right.
So you very carefully realizing where you're at, you roll yourself over to the door, and this white orb is still moving back and forth, almost mechanically. It reminds you a little of Busby and the way that Busby scans areas, and this white orb is just moving back and forth.
Okay. Can I see, is there like a light or is there like something that I can see so I know what way it's looking, or is it just like the pupil of the orb?
There's a faint light, but there is a pupil as well, and you can watch as it moves back and forth.
Okay. I'm gonna try and come up to the door, and I'm gonna inspect it, and I'm gonna see if A, it could hear, or if it could just see, and B, if there's a way to unlock it or trigger it or whatever without it seeing anything.
There is a small inset about the size of a coin underneath this eye.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to take some sort of item that acts like a key.
Mm-hmm.
The eye does not seem to be based on any sort of auditory trigger.
Okay.
It seems to be sight-based only.
Okay. I'm going to call back. Don't come in here.
The rest of the group, you hear Siraye's voice kind of echo through the chamber quietly. Don't come in here, as the shrieking of this ooze dissipates and it moves down the drain, disappearing entirely. The room is now clear. You're out of combat.
Is that real Siraye or goop Siraye?
It's real Siraye.
Okay.
Don't come in here. It's a trap that is based on sight, and I managed to get through, but I have a feeling if it sees you, it might warn someone.
We also have another problem with the fact that in opening this door, we've accidentally triggered an alarm, which is, I think, just about to go off. So we gotta get what we're here for and get the fuck out.
Oh my god.
The lad is absolutely correct. We've got to move quickly, Siraye.
Does anybody have a paper bag?
Is there do any of you know illusion magic?
Me? Why? What? But I can't make...
Maybe we can use illusion magic to get this thing to see something else. Also, there's a hole that looks like a key or a coin goes here. Is there anything in that other room that you can see?
Yeah, I could look around.
Hawke, you start looking around. Do you open boxes and crates?
Yeah, I'll start opening boxes and crates.
So you open a box, and inside of it there are wicker baskets full of snakes.
Ah!
Good.
Black
close the thing.
writhing masses of snakes kind of greet you as one of them lunges at you just as you close the top back down.
I close it. Whatever you guys do, no matter what, do not open this crate.
Okay.
There's a treasure chest that is locked.
Oh. There's a treasure chest over here. I can't open it, though. I don't have the key for it.
Keep looking.
What about the other crate? Is there anything in there?
You open that crate and there is a large pile of what look like scales of some sort of really rough beast that have been stacked very carefully here. And then on top of it is an enormous skull of a reptilian creature that looks vicious with large, sharp, serrated teeth.
I'm pretty sure the key is in some angry lizard skull. I'm gonna pocket one of the scales, though.
Maybe it's in the locked one.
I can't pick this.
You have a giant sword. Can't you just go like...
No,
because what if it's...
Clearly
no,
everything
hold on.
here is alarmed.
Okay. I'm gonna check...
No kidding!
Can I check the lock and see if I can pick it? Is this something that I'm able to pick?
It is a complicated lock, but you can certainly try.
Fuck it, I'll try.
You pull out your thieves' tools and you start working very slowly around the outskirts of it, ducking every time that you feel like the eye is getting closer to you as it moves back and forth.
Do I have something that can help? I don't think I do.
Is there anything that anyone else wants to do to assist Siraye?
Siraye, is it an eye? Like an actual... If you grab the torch that I threw in and you chuck it against the eye, is it going to blind it enough so you can get past?
Maybe. That's a good point. I was trying to not alarm it like something was here, but
I mean, I think it's a little late for that.
Okay.
We really need to...
Lass, I cannot say enough. We've got to go.
All right,
have
and then
to get out.
I'm gonna take my dagger and I'm gonna stab the eye and I'm gonna try and do it so they don't see my face. They just see like hand, boop, like that, just like what I'm doing in the screen.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah, answer.
I would just like to move over to the very panicked Doddle. Would like to move over to the door and just like stand guard, essentially, and yell if anything comes after us.
Okay, I'll make a perception check for you, Doddle.
Oh, good.
That's a very good call. You do hear sounds coming from further down the corridor. It sounds like running boots.
Oh my god, okay.
Right, no, it's all right. Okay, God boy, I'm gonna need you to pick up anything you can and just and grab it because we're fucking going. And then Maglo's gonna go next to Doddle and then load and wait with it.
Grab what? What should I grab?
The locked one. Whatever you think's important. Pray on it. I don't know.
Need the locked one?
Roll to strike
take
with your
it.
dagger. Roll to strike with your dagger.
Me? Okay.
You're not gonna miss. I just want to see how much damage you do. You definitely don't miss.
It's
well,
5
with your sneak
piercing.
attack, 5. Well, it's 5 plus 7. You did 12 points of damage. You stab forward with your dagger as it comes out of nowhere, and immediately you hear this echo shriek as the eye slams shut around your blade, and metal eyelids close around it. But it's too late as the white light dissipates and the eye opens up and there's an empty orb inside of it. What do you want to do now?
Can I look in there?
Inside of the orb, you see an indentation that looks like it might allow you to put a hand into it.
I'm gonna put my hand in.
Okay. So you reach your left or your right
Doesn't
hand.
chop off my hand.
Your
My
left
right
or your right
hand.
hand?
My right hand.
You put your right hand into
Uh-huh.
this indentation, and you do feel an internal button
Okay.
on the inside of this open eye.
Okay, I am gonna take my hand out, and I'm gonna take my spear, and I'm gonna put my spear into it, and I'm gonna click the button with my spear.
The tip of your spear is snapped off by the eyelids as they slam shut, and blades shoot downward.
Okay.
Yeah, so your spear has been broken. However, when that occurs, you do notice that small indentation turned slightly. Do you wish to try to pick the lock in the indentation?
I'm gonna try and pick the normal lock. That's not.
You can
in
retrieve the
eye
tip of your spear too. It's still there once
Great.
the eye opens back up.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get it and not get my hand cut off.
It doesn't slam back shut unless you hit that button.
Okay. Cool. I'll just get my spear out, and then I'll try and undo the tinker tools.
Yeah.
Good.
So I just need you to make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
It's very important that you make this.
Don't fuck it up.
I'll give you an inspiration actually for this
it's
spear.
okay. I'm gonna look at that. It's a 20. We got it, team.
Cool.
We don't need that. Take your inspiration back.
You still have the inspiration, but if you don't want to use it, you can just let it sit on your sheet, okay? Because using the spear saved your hand. I was going to take it from you.
Oh.
You take your tools and you start working your way around it, and it is a very complex, very difficult lock. In fact, it's one of the more difficult locks that you've ever dealt with. However, you do slide the trigger just in time, and you realize that because of the way that the eyelid slammed shut, it actually offset the tumbler just enough to make this possible. So when you work your tool along the side of the lock, there is a clicking noise, and the doors swing open.
Okay.
And in front of you, you see a massive steamer trunk that is sitting in front of you, and there's a lock upon it.
Oh, fuck. Is it the red one?
No, it's another box. Hold on. But you can come in here now. And I'm going to go and I'm going to get to work on the other box.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check, please. And then I'll come back to you. In the main space, Doddle, you hear these footsteps, and it seems that somebody's running down the corridor, coming closer. You judge that they're probably about 100 feet away. Yeah, so they seem to be at the entrance that you walked around, that curving stairwell.
Okay.
So Siraye, you got a 6 on your sleight of hand.
Yeah, can I use my inspiration?
The inspiration that you didn't want? I thought you gave it back to me.
No, I'm gonna, what are you talking about?
You can roll your inspiration, yes.
Okay, that's
It's a D8.
D8. Oh, D8. Oh.
That's an 8. So that's going to give you a 14, which is just enough to get the massive lock undone. It's not as complex as the lock that was on the doorway. It just seems to be a large, bulky lock that you kind of muscle through, but one of your tools gets stuck and you have to force it back out. As soon as you do, though, the lock falls off. Do you open this enormous steamer trunk?
I'm going to check it for traps.
Okay, I will...
Being a good rogue is good.
You got a natural 20. I need you to roll again to see if you get another natural 20.
Yeah, baby. Above average.
That's 20 our way out of this crazy situation.
Okay, you got a 19, which is not a 20, but it's still very good.
That's close.
You do notice a trap, and you manage to subvert it as the trunk swings open.
Perfect.
And inside you see a red squarish lacquer box. It's like a cube. And it's set in this velvet black lining inside of this giant trunk.
I'm gonna take the box. I think I got it.
It is Hawke's turn, and then it is Doddle's turn. Okay. Hawke, you're standing in front of this closed treasure chest. What do you want to do?
Are you guys sure you want me to grab this? I mean, like, do
you
we
just
really
hear Siraye go, yes, take it!
All right, I'll pick up the chest.
Listen, they're a gang of villains, right? That do bad shit. We take the giant chest, they can't use it.
I guess if you put it that way.
You grab onto the chest, and you're wholly encumbered, Hawke. You feel Bretta push up next to you, Maglo. I'm afraid we've lost any sort of time. We're gonna have to go. Hey, Siraye, you gotta get in here. Doddle, it's now your turn. What do you want to do?
Okay. Our new friends would have to go like down these little stairs. Oh, are they there now?
These are the stairs that they're headed towards. This is where the sound's coming.
Okay.
So they're on the map. If you look, they've entered in.
Yep.
And they immediately knew where to go.
Yep.
So they seem to be running right to this room. What would you like to do, though, Doddle, as you hear the footsteps coming closer and closer? They seem to get a little more cautious as they get further down this hallway.
I'm gonna grab Maglo's pant leg. I don't know what to do.
Lydon, this is a fucking wall situation. Don't tell the fucking god boy, but I'm panicking myself. I have no idea where we're taking that fucking chest, but I'm just losing my fucking mind.
I don't hear any of this, but my voice is beat right. I'm like, I got this. Oh, I don't need help.
Hey, Lydon. Busby like crawls onto Maglo's shoulder, and he takes Busby off and then puts it onto Doddle's shoulder. have this. It'll be fine. He'll take care of you, right? Just get all of the fucking magic that you have, and as soon as you see anyone, just blast them with it, all right?
Okay.
I'm actually... I think I'm gonna run out the door then. Try and meet him. Buy us some time.
Bretta goes with you, standing right next to you.
Oh, thank God.
I like the cut of your jib.
I don't think my jib has any cut yet, but thank you.
Jib?
I think it's cutting into my jib.
Cut of your jib, lass.
I don't even know how to
Don't
say
you
the
speak the
phrase.
common tongue? And she flings herself up against the wall, ready to swing as soon as somebody comes by. You hit them with your fire pellets. I'll swing for the fence.
I had a different idea, but...
Whatever works, just do it.
Okay.
I believe in you, girl. Do it.
Oh, thank you. That makes one of us. All right. How far can I get?
Yeah, you can get about there. Bretta's a little bit in front of you, but she can move out of the way if you have to fire something.
She's gonna want to move out of the way.
All right, so she stands just off to the side.
This is something the Baldur's Gate taught me. Can I dash? Because that's all I really want to do my turn is to run, right?
Yeah, so you can absolutely use your entire action to run, and then you double your movement.
Look at me learning how to play D&D. I want to double my movement, please.
The downside is you wouldn't be able to fight.
Well, I
until
can't
your
fight
next
anyway
turn.
because I'm not there.
Perfect. Then here you go.
As you do so, Doddle, you hear voices as they push closer and closer to you. I heard something down here. It's over here. They must have broken into the vault. And you start creeping forward. How far up here do you go, Doddle? Do you go another 30?
You know what? Do we want to be dumb? Does Momo want to be dumb? Of course Momo wants to be dumb. I'm going to run right in front of them and go, ah, goblin!
All right, so I'll give you the shout, I'm a goblin for free. I do need you to roll initiative. I need everyone to roll a new initiative.
Does it count as gonna roll an intimidation? Probably not, right? It's probably
No.
not. Yeah.
Who rolled that natural one? Was
Oh,
it Hawke?
fuck me. Oh, no. Okay, thank God.
That was me.
All right.
Pick the second one. I'm gonna.
It looks like I have a little inspiration thingy here. I don't remember what I got it from, but
So close to being a second one.
You want to use it on your initiative?
I would like to. Yes.
All right.
I don't remember where I got it from though. So people
I'm
might
okay with
comment,
that.
but I'd really like to not be acting last. So I'm gonna use it, and that just means I can roll twice or add
No,
something.
you're gonna roll your inspiration, which is gonna be a D8. So add that to your previous roll.
So that's
7.
dirty 20.
So dirty 20 it is. So you're gonna operate at the same time as Maglo. And then whichever of you has the higher dexterity can go first, or you can decide amongst yourselves. I really don't care.
How many guys are there?
So I can tell you now that you've turned the corner, as you run forward shouting, goblin. There are 4 individuals in what looks like patchwork armor with breastplates and shields, long swords, and helmets as they continue to push down this corridor towards you. One of them is holding a torch in the back row. The others all have their swords drawn.
Oh, good. Good for
And you
them.
notice very clearly the red armbands that the Grasping Eye wear.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to take a very short break. So everyone can take
thank you.
a 5-minute bio, and then we're going to come back and we're going to continue. All right?
Why am I so stressed?
Hi, everybody. Wow.
Can I show you guys the work that my Siraye and Elerie arm wrestling?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Alright, so there's.
Oh, so
Oh my gosh.
That's beautiful.
God,
So,
love
like,
it.
look, different stances. Look.
Did you use some kind of reference for drawing the back of somebody? Because I can never do it.
No.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's awesome.
Intrigued by what's going on. Celebrating. And then I'm still getting to call.
Oh,
the
that's
Calder.
so cute. That's
Oh.
so good.
My favorite though
I'm
is
so
Doddle
excited.
freaking out.
Very good.
My favorite is always Doddle freaking out.
Yeah, whenever Doddle's freaking out, that's straight up just me freaking out and just channeling it. It's my dumb little
I
goblin.
love that for you. Oh, you okay?
Huh? Oh yeah, I just was like, I was a baseline stressed, and now we're in a fight. So it's just like the stressed out icing on a stressed out cake.
Oops.
It's good though. It's good though. I'm having fun. I'm about to fight 4 armored dudes 3 times my size, and I'm gonna get another coffee.
Mike, you're my favorite person.
You're my favorite person.
We're always on the same. Kaz, are you kidding?
So,
Okay.
you too?
It's bibimbap, and I have it came with
joking?
and it's chicken with it.
Oh
I
my
love
god, that's
bibimbap.
good.
I'm in a small Canadian town. There is no Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Kaz is eating Korean, so I'm jealous.
I was in a small Washingtonian town with no Chipotle or Taco Bell. My life was hell for a little while.
In this
I don't think I've
tiny
ever heard the
UK
word.
land, we don't. The Chipotle hasn't made it here yet, so we don't handle them.
Oh man!
When you come to visit, we have the best street tacos on our corner.
I believe it.
I do love those
They're
tacos.
the best.
LA has the best Mexican food.
I've been told LA food is like really good.
We have okay Mexican. The only thing food-wise we're really known for, we have good food, is barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue.
Sorry to cut it short, but we need to keep moving if we're gonna hit it all. So
Sounds like some priestess music in the background here.
yeah, we're gonna enter in with June here. A rain of white flower petals skip across the breeze, drawing across your vision as you kneel on the soft bed of moss and leaves before the circle of stones that surround you, June. Juniper of the Eternal Grove, you have stood watch and guarded this place much of your life. You are a child of nature, bound by oath to the god Silvanis, the Oaken Lord, the Forest Father. Together with Shantia, the Earth Mother, life grows anew. Each season turns, and the great balance is kept. The clerics and the druids that work amongst the Emerald Enclave spend their lives seeking out the will of their gods, helping to bring back a balance that is sorely tested in these days of innovation and progress. As humanity moves quickly, developing the land and building great cities, nations that harvest all of the gifts that the Mother and the Father offer and use them to build walls, divert rivers, conquer mountains, creating castles, and forging stone and metal to their will. With the slow, wandering descent that has befallen your elven allies, it is a fight and a battle that is hard won. They have rescinded from the world, retreating to ancient secretive groves. The wood elves that you once called ally are hidden from the world, and as they have left behind a legacy, that legacy is languishing without their care. And it is upon those of the Emerald Enclave who would enforce the will of the Oaken Lord to keep the groves and the places of the world safe, to shelter the places of great magic that tap into the natural fountain of weave that occurs in the most untouched regions of the wild. Your life, Juniper Creed, has never been easy. But it is one that has been rewarding. You have learned grace and connection with the world around you. The ancient druidic circle that controls this grove is known as the Elder Circle. Seated firmly within the large expanse known as the Emerald Enclave. And the Elder Circle has worked for many years to guide you and to see you upon a path that would expand your deep and lasting connection to Sylvanas. But there have been dark omens of late. And on the wind, as those gentle white flower petals flicker through the breeze, and you pray within the grove, the ancient stone circle, you watch those petals as they turn to flaming ash. The grove burns around you, and you hear the shouts of all of the companions that the Elder Circle has gathered. The roar of a great bear as it is speared through, its blood pouring in heavy gouts from its neck. Agonized, painful growls as the magnificent, lumbering beast falls. The filthy horde has broken through the defenses, and the sacred grove is being defiled. Flame licks all around, and from the trees a hail of arrows rain down upon those who would breach these sacred places and break the balance once again. You watch as steel helms and mail move forward, their swords and their shields working swiftly, and you walk amongst it as if in a dream. You see, Juniper Creed, you are not there, but you are witnessing it as you walk amongst the carnage. This vision has been gifted to you so that you would not forget what they are capable of, what they have done, and what they will do again when given the opportunity. Tears stream down your face like rivers as the bloody screams of the druids reach your ears. An armored figure throws a young child across the grove, their body crumpling underneath the weight. The sword finds its home quickly. Trees creak and fall under the weight of enormous axes as they are felled here, not for lumber, but for destruction. An old man is pulled from a leafin hut and dragged into the middle of the road, screaming outward and reaching, yelling. He is silenced as well in front of you as you continue to walk amongst the carnage and the flame. Large oxen pull carts, trampling through these untouched places, filled with the artifacts the druids held sacred. Magical stones and crystals. On top of it all, you see the Shield of Sylvanas. An ancient, wizened face, as if grown from a shard of bark, with green moss and leaves worked across it. You had prayed to it often, and Giver of the Eternal Grove had taught you some of your first lessons underneath its gaze. Arabella, Sister of the Thorn, had taught you to fight while it watched on. And Arawick, the Wanderer, spoke to you of the world beyond, and your calling when the time had come. And as you move through the flames and bloodshed, the Shield of Sylvanas is screaming in agony, its face contorted, its mouth open in a silent, mournful pain. The pain of a father watching his children being slaughtered. The crude, armored men work their way through the crowds. None live. Nothing is left unspoiled. And when your eyes open, Juniper Creed, you find yourself kneeling in the stone grove, your fists clenched, your nails digging into the flesh of your palm, and blood dripping from between your fingers. As your body, racked with rage, shakes in the gentle wind of autumn that blows through the grove, you feel the presence, Gilver, of the Eternal Grove. You hear their strong, stern words as they give you their advice.
The balance has been broken once again, and the whole of our world lays open, a question unanswered.
And then the voice of Arabella, sister of Thorn.
Retrieve the shield that was stolen and seek the disturbance that rises in the city of smoke and metal.
And the voice of Airwalk, the Wanderer.
Waterdeep, they call it. But it is a twisted blight that festers on the edge of the Sea of Swords.
All three at once, as if the same spirit speak to you.
We give you our blessing, and the will of the Oaken Lord is clear.
You see a final vision. A city, unlike anything that you have witnessed before. Enormous walls, 1,000 roofs upon 1,000, and the endless sea of swords beyond, with sails as far as the horizon. Waterdeep, they call it. The rain speckles across the cobblestone streets of the dock ward. You stand in Fishgut Alley. The broken body of the informant that led you here has toppled in front of your opponents. Mert Handlebrake has rushed forward, his blade gleaming. Utra Soul rushes forward with an axe, and a cloud of daggers flies out of a shadow as the half-elven rogue known as Deve continues to attack your assailants. The Grasping Eye, 4 powerful warriors, some of the best perhaps that they have at their disposal, here to teach a lesson to those that would pry into the secrets that they hold dear. What was your initiative, June?
I believe it was a 12.
Mert acts first, rushing forward and striking at one of the opponents. His sword connects, and blood gouts across the opponent's chest as they stumble backwards. Mert spins and follows it up with the back of his hand as he presses the individual forward. A shower of blood and teeth shoot out of their mouth as they are struck roundly in the face by a set of knuckles that are wrapped in steel. Uthra Soul, the barbarian, rushes forward in a fury. Her axe swings and catches into another opponent, and immediately they begin brawling in the street, blade striking blade. A dagger catches another opponent underneath the jaw, and a fourth rushes forward. crossing the distance and headed directly towards you. What do you want to do?
As he's heading towards me, I'm gonna whip my hand back and shoot out my thorn whip to catch him at the ankles.
Roll the strike, please.
Ah, it's a 9.
You strike your whip outward, but your opponent seems prepared and leaps over it, rushing closer and closer to you. Is there anything else that you would like to do on this turn? Do you have a bonus action or anything else?
She's just gonna... as he's coming, she's just gonna jump over to the left a little bit.
Okay, so you move away, trying to escape your opponent, and they do have to work to get closer to you as they continue to run. They are going to strike out at you, June. They do hit. You take 5 points of damage as a blade strikes down at you and slices just barely into your shoulder. A rush of hot blood washes across your white garments and stains them red. As the rain continues to fall, the thunder and lightning crashes above you. The other opponents are deep in battle with your companions. The one that has taken a dagger from Deve turns and blows a war horn. The alley echoes outward with the cry, as it appears that your opponents have judged themselves unprepared for your assault, and so they've called for reinforcements. Calder, you finally find a moment where it is safe for you to dislodge yourself from the roof of this building. And as you land into the wet alleyway, you hear the shrieking of additional griffins above as the City Watch continues their patrol in this part of the dock ward. What do you do?
That's the way I need to go to get back to Meg, right?
No. The way that you need to go to get back to Meg is fairly unguarded.
Well,
the City Watch seems to be filling the other section of the street.
He's gone then. Bye-bye.
You quickly and quietly make your way out of this part of town, having learned much more than you expected. And you make your way across the dirty streets as your boots are covered in mud in this wet, rainy weather. You pull your jacket close to you and you feel the burning of the scars across your eye. It always acts up when the weather is cold, and that memory of the slash that you received echoes in your mind as you move through the dark and rainy streets of the dock ward. You make your way to the long pier, under which Meg holds court in a ramshackle village of makeshift shacks and small fires, surrounded by many of the informants that she relies upon. No one makes much notice of you as you walk down into these secret areas beneath the docks. And you make your way to the small platform and look out at the stormy water, barely able to make out the peppering of copper coins that stretch out in the water beneath. What would you like to do?
Toss a coin in there again. Like, wait, hey, hello? It's like, got no time. And it's like, anybody there?
After a long pause, someone comes up behind you. The water doesn't change.
Well, Cal would instinctively like, oh
yeah, hold on.
And you see the ragged old face of Stimp, who has helped to train you.
Yeah. Oh, you scared me.
You're looking for her, eh?
Yeah, there are a lot of guards out, man. You can't go around just sneaking up on people.
I didn't think I was sneaking. I thought I just was walking up to you, but if I was sneaking, then I'm sorry. Lad, you're jumpier than a fish in a net. What's happening?
He just points back at, like, in the general direction. I'm just like, you're crawling with guards everywhere, all over the place.
Oh, yeah. I saw it myself with my old eyes. I saw all of them working around, and I said to myself, it's a good time to get down below and start drinking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought the same, but then I came across a little more than I bargained for, and I think I should talk to Meg.
Oh, you can tell old Stimp, and I'll tell Meg if you like.
I think I want to get information from Meg as well.
You want to? Oh, okay. So you're gonna do a little bit of information bartering. You learn fast, son. Oh, you're gonna be smart as one of any smart things around here before long.
Thank you, Stimp. Do you know where she is?
Oh, who knows? These days, if I had a copper for every time I was trying to chase down a mermaid, I guess I would be very wealthy and living up with the Lords of Waterdeep up in the castle ward.
I guess that's fair enough. And Meg's not just any mermaid, huh?
No, I wouldn't tell her that in front of her face to save my life.
I guess she'll probably be around eventually.
What I'm saying, boys, she would break you like a twig.
Oh, I'm well aware.
You want a drink while you wait?
All right.
All right, I got you some very special, this is very classy stuff. I can still see out of one of my eyes. Here.
The joy that Cal felt falters for a second. He looks at it. He's gonna smell it first.
It smells like lamp oil. It smells like lamp oil.
I think
it'll put hair on your chest. I am telling you right now that it's the drink that you're gonna want to use every time you get down into this area because it gives you the ability to not feel a damn thing.
He looks skeptical for a second, and he goes, "All right," and he knocks some back.
Oh, okay. Take Constitution saving throw, please.
Here we go. Oh, that's a 5.
You take a deep pull of what you are fairly certain lamp oil is a key component of.
Yeah.
And it's thick and very oily, and it goes down your throat and burns the entire way as if it's on fire. And so immediately, you start to cough a little bit, and Stimp starts kind of chuckling and kind of smacks you on the back once. The two of you sit there, and I don't know how much more you pull on this, but he regales you with a tale of his current workings within the dock ward as he's traveled back and forth doing filthy Meg's work, collecting coin and information. Nothing of consequence really, but he seems to be trying to keep you busy. I'd like for you to make an insight check, please.
Insight's not my best. Oh, but that was a 20.
Yeah, so even though you got a -1, you still rolled a natural 20, which means that Calder, I need you to roll again to see if you get another natural 20.
Oh, Jesus. There we go. Push the button. No, that would be a 9. So not a second natural 20 this time.
Yeah, you didn't get another one, but you did get one natural 20. You don't think that Stimp is as drunk as he seems to be. And that immediately sends you down a very frightening train of thought. If Stimp isn't as drunk as Stimp seems to be, and is sitting here feeding you very, very powerful alcohol that most likely, if you drink much more of it, is going to knock you out. What is it that Stimp is trying to do?
Oh no, I liked him. So Gal kind of, the sips that he is taking of this nasty liquid are extremely tiny, and he doesn't have to necessarily play that off like it's purposeful, like it's disgusting. So he's just like, nah.
Yeah.
And he's watching Stimp, and he's trying to take some note of his surrounding. Is there anything like anyone else nearby?
There are a lot of fires, and there are a lot of silhouettes all around these fires that are camped out around the side. And you can't really see who they are, but it does seem like there's a little bit of a crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. Carefully and kind of quietly watching to see what happens.
Right.
So I then walked up to the further roost over to the right side of the street, and when I got over there, I didn't know that they weren't going to have the exact coin that I'd asked for, so I had to go back and collect some coppers so that then they could take the coppers and change out the silvers. But here's the thing about all
Stim.
that.
How are you doing? Are you eating well lately?
Oh yeah, I'm eating super well. I actually have been, like I was saying in the story that I was telling you that you interrupted, I've been earning enough coin to really take care of myself.
Yeah, that's interesting. More than usual, would you say? Come across any particularly generous customers lately?
Oh, I don't. You're a sharp lad. I think you're gonna have to dumb it down for old Stimp here, because I don't really follow what you're saying. What are you saying, boy?
What's going on?
Make an intimidation roll.
Oh, that was a natural one. Here we go. Here we are.
Roll it again and see if you get another natural one, Cal.
Yeah. Intimidation wasn't really what I was going for, but
I understand. Yeah, no, and it was just a kind of an indicator for me to see how he was reacting to it. This isn't like disastrous. It just means that he didn't take it as a threat at all.
Okay.
He kind of looks at you. Oh, okay. What's really going on? You want to know what's really going on? I thought that this would be much easier, but I see now that you aren't easily fooled. And the image of Stimp melts away, and you see a blue-robed mage
balls
appear in front of you.
Okay, so yeah, Cal's a little stunned. It's like, I knew Stimp wouldn't do me dirty like that. It's not the same mage, is it? Is it just...
It's a different mage.
All right.
Shaved head, totally shaved head. A blue set of tattoos across the stripes that work their way down the back of his neck. And he has what looks like a completely clear glass eye, but then the robes are identical. So it does seem to be someone of the same order. And you see that this individual still has his ring firmly on his hand.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. So Calder is, and they're still like sitting, and he said, where are they? How close are they to the water? That's my question right now.
You're about 10 feet away from the water.
All right.
Roll initiative.
And there are a lot of people around, right?
Roll initiative.
Yeah.
Roll initiative, please, Cal. 23. Guess who's going first? That would be you, Calder. You have the jump on this individual as you've broken their ruse and they've dropped their illusion.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Instinctively, Cal's just gonna go and punch him in the face.
I love it. Go ahead and roll to strike.
Yeah. Okay. That's a 10. All right.
So you do swing, and there is a glimmer of this energy that stops your fist right before this mage's face, and you feel like you just hit a brick wall. It doesn't hurt your hand very much, but you just see this impact as there's this reverberation around the individual's face. The mage doesn't blink. That was foolish.
So Cal's is sitting there with his fist right in front of this mage's face, and he goes, I see. And he's going to try to run. He's going to try to dive right into the water.
Oh, you're going to go into the water.
Into the ocean, please.
So you turn and you immediately leap into the water.
Yeah, like parkour, like a roll.
I love it. I love it. So go ahead and make an athletics check.
Please.
As you jump into the water. Yeah, you dive. You swan dive into the water. This is like jumping off a ship. You're well acquainted with this. So
he's been throwing off punches this time.
You jump into the water without another moment's thought, and you immediately splash into the water. And everything is dark and murky because of the storm, and you swim, and you feel your muscles start to strain as you hold your breath and you just keep pushing yourself through the water. And when you finally have to rise back up to catch a quick breath of air, immediately you hear shouts coming from the small ramshackle buildings that have been built onto the bottom side of this dock. And you caution a glance back as you feel an arm wrap around your shoulders and lift you up.
I'm sweating.
As
All right.
someone has grabbed onto you. Do you fight back?
Please, God, are there tattoos on this arm? Is it a scaly tattooed arm?
It is.
Oh, no, he's not gonna fight back. Like, oh, thank fuck.
And as your head bobs there, you see a glint of brass and copper as a trident is thrown out of the water and spears the mage in the chest. As the mage stumbles backwards into one of the fires, knocking it over and falling into a pile of trash. Boy, you're gonna be the end of me, ain't you? Take a deep breath, love, as you are pulled underwater.
He does so. Just happy boy.
I love her.
Elerie, you're hanging from a rope off the back end of the siren's call. A shadowy figure has just emerged away from the back of the ship. As you're hanging there, you see the city watchmen peek their head over down at you. In the name of the watch, stay where you are. By the masked lords and all of the code legal, you are under arrest.
I'm hanging by the rope.
You're 20 feet down from where these guards are. It's about 10 feet to the ground, but there is very ragged looking debris beneath you, and it would be very dangerous to just drop. There are scaffoldings that are very precarious looking to your left and your right. You could try to swing to one of them. You could climb your way back up and deal with the guards, or you could try to somehow drop safely below. The choice is yours.
Leary, let's go with the rope.
Fair enough. So that sounds to me like you would like to make an acrobatics check.
Yes.
That's a natural 20.
Woo! Yes. Okay. Woo! All right. Leary, build that momentum. So she just lets go of the rope. Nope, not today.
And I'd like for you to roll again to see if you get a second natural 20, because we do have house rules here. That's a dirty 20, which is not the same, but still a very good roll. Congratulations. So tell me how you fall as you drop down. Why don't you describe how you get out of the situation and land safely below?
She lets go of the rope, but uses her ankles to still hold on to it so that she kind of can use that to just give her a little less of a momentum from hitting the ground, and she does like a backspin or a back dive, as she would probably know it, onto the ground without harming herself, and just a little kind of like, ha-ha, afterwards.
In the wet air of this alleyway, you are free from your position, but you do not have the head of a city watch.
Yeah, I'm aware. I got that. I'm gonna get it.
How are you going about that?
Elerie would like to go back to the spot that she dropped off all of her weapons, and just kind of would like to reconvene with that guard, because he's going to be looking for her, she presumes, and all of that. She wants to make sure that at least she keeps this facade that she's supposed to be here and that she's doing, her job or something. So she's gonna go cash in that.
So you visually make eye contact with that captain, but that captain is not near you. There is another guard standing about 15 feet away from your equipment, and all of it's there. And the guard just kind of like looks at you through the side of their eyes and then kind of continues to survey the rest of the street, paying you no mind. You gather your things, and you do make eye contact with the captain, and the captain goes about his business. What would you like to do now?
I'd like to go talk to his crew really quick.
So you make your way towards a small grouping of these City Watch.
And I just want to say, hey, there was something out in that back alley. Looked like somebody, like wearing a mask and some robes. They were poking around the ship like they shouldn't have been. You know anything about that?
The guards look at each other, then look back to you, and half of them rush back into the alleyway as another one looks to you. You're certain that you stole what you stole?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a candle lit inside the ship and everything. Like, really don't think whoever was in there was supposed to be.
The guard, as she looks at you, turns back and then walks over to the captain and starts talking to the captain. No one seems to pay much mind to you. Do you wish to stay here and wait for them to return, or are you going to hightail it out?
I'm trying to get that head.
There are a number of guards that are patrolling in this area, so if you wanted to try to sequester one into an area, you probably could.
Goodness, this feels like I just get to pick from the apple tree what guard head I'm going to be taking home.
You're in the middle. You're in the middle of a barrel of fish. However,
right.
I will remind you that you're in the middle of a barrel of fish, and that these fish could very easily kill you.
So I'd like to, since I'm kind of in the middle of it, I'd just like to start planning my escape route of leaving, with and still feeling like they. You know, the facade is like I was here for them and now I'm leaving, you know, so I'm going to like kind of look over at the captain and the captain's, whoever's hanging out with the captain, you know, I'm headed out. See you later, Captain.
Okay, so you make a big deal out of that and you walk away, and the captain looks at you distastefully and then continues about his business.
I have to make my way immediately back to the Grasping Eye, so I'm going to start my path that way, but I would like to see if there's any guards or any opportunities along the way.
As you're moving along, you do find a small group of guards that are spread out and currently moving around the area of the dock ward that you're walking out of, and they seem to be questioning standers-by. Individuals that are just moving through the streets, they stop and they start asking questions to. You watch as one of the guards, as you're observing all this, one of the guards, she turns away from an individual and looks around kind of suspiciously and then walks into an alley alone.
Honestly, nothing about this feels right. I think, I don't think Elerie can do this.
Okay. So what does Elerie do?
She continues walking, just kind of feeling the pressure of this situation now, like getting even bigger.
So as you're walking through the streets, kind of deciding what you're supposed to do, what you should do, things start moving their way through your mind, and the cluttered thoughts that you have all seem to go back to your encounter with Teetlebom Moosenik, as the shrieks of pain echoed through that alleyway as you ended his life. He was pleading for your mercy, and you had none in that moment. And now you think back to all of the weight that has been placed upon your acceptance into this guild, so that they can understand that you will operate as they expect. Having to prove yourself by killing a guard, part of the City Watch, which is a capital crime to say the least, but also morally very difficult, as none of these guard have directly done anything to you, have not caused you any sort of pain or impinged upon your freedoms in any way. Teetlebom was perhaps an act of self-preservation, perhaps. Murdering a City Watch is pure and utter evil, with no connection to reason, doing so is a vicious act. Unless Elerie is able to justify the ends with the means, to say that the inclusion into this group, this gang, is more important than the life of someone who has dedicated themselves to the safety of Waterdeep. It's not an easy question to answer, and as Elerie walks through the rainy streets of Waterdeep, she realizes that her time is running out.
She thinks about her conversation that she had with the Inquisitor, and she thinks about who's really got their hands deep in Waterdeep and who perhaps at the end of the day is going to be the ones in charge. She doesn't kill any of the guards of Waterdeep because she knows that at the end of the day, she'd rather be calling him boss than this grasping eye situation. So she doesn't kill any of the town guards and starts to figure out what's next. That means that she's gonna have to go to the grasping eye empty-handed. Maybe she can convince them that's a pretty heavy hill to climb.
You make your way back to the meeting spot for your connection. Those who operate with the grasping eye have been expecting you. And you walk into an empty warehouse with a single magical light that shines down into the center of the room. You feel many eyes upon you. There is a strange, echoing voice, Elerie. I do not see your gift in your hands.
Unfortunately, tonight wouldn't have been a good night to deliver the gift.
So you return to us empty-handed with a mouthful of excuses.
Would you rather the excuses or unnecessary trouble coming your way?
Discretion has always been tied closely to any of the missives that we have given or will ever give. The grasping eye does not operate in the light of day. Perhaps we have misjudged you. Perhaps you are not who we thought you were. Mayhaps our mercy was misplaced.
That would be a lot of mayhaps to be saying upon yourself, but I've always known you're a lot to be a good judge of character.
Very well. The body is dragged by a cloaked, armored individual out into the center of the light with you. The thug that is doing the work is heavily muscled and has various tattoos worked across their arms. Many of them are eyes with tentacles wrapped around the wrists, and there are piercings and scarifications across them as well. You don't see the individual's face, but they're wearing a red hood, and drag before them an individual that you know. Snail, the first mate of the Siren's Call. It is a dwarf with short-cut beard and a balding head, gray eyes, and a very battered face. His hands have been broken, and one of his legs is bent in the entirely wrong way. The thug of the grasping eye drops the body in front of you. If you will not remove City Watch, perhaps you would prefer something more personal.
Fuck it, Elerie, don't do what they say. Just let him fucking kill us both.
as the swelled eyes and shattered teeth plead upward at you. Prove yourself.
You know, personal is kind of where I specialize. I just take out both my axes and lean into it. And I would like to just kill him as fast as possible.
Make a single strike. If you have inspiration or anything else that you would like to spend to ensure that this is a swift death, I suggest you do so.
I mean, like, he did kind of get me into this situation, so if he blubbers a little bit at the end, that's not too bad. So I will take up my axes, and I am just going to just, like, kind of, like, take a knee and just strike him.
The first strike takes him by surprise, and he pulls backward, trying to escape your strike, and you do pierce through his shoulder. But there's a cracking of his sternum as he throws himself back, and blood gouts through him, and he starts gurgling in front of you. Would you like to strike him again?
Stay still, Snail. You're making this worse for the both of us.
Traitor! Die, you traitorous bitch!
As the second strike finds its home in his skull, and his head cracks open before you. Blood everywhere, his body falls limp as you have to put a foot on his chest to pull your axe back out.
Just straighten myself out a little bit and look down at what's occurred. Clean off the blade with just like my thumb a little bit, just kind of clearing it off.
You know that others are watching you, but it is silent all around you. The single light is shining down upon you. And then you feel the hand upon your chin as your neck is lifted up and the blade cuts deep into your throat. Blood begins pouring in gouts and rivers down your chest, Elerie. As you are whirled around and thrown on top of the first mate. Standing there looking down at you is the porcelain white skin of a drow. A network of purple veins worked across their face. You recognize it as Vesh Drugir, smiling as you die.
That was
on.
brutal.
That was weird. Okay.
Give us a goddamn second.
That was
Snaps for Casa Marie. We're gonna get a total party kill on behalf of Elerie one day, I think.
One day.
Make sure to pick up the crown you dropped, you queen.
Doddle, you turn the corner and you shout out at the opponents in front of you. There are 4 of them, and they do stop for a moment and assess the situation. Siraye, you have the enameled red cube with you, the box that you have been instructed to retrieve from the safe house.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the box in my bag, and I'm going to leave the room, get the fuck out of here, and I'm gonna see that Hawke struggling with this box because it is quite heavy, and I'm gonna walk up and help him with the box.
Thank you.
I need you and Hawke to both make strength checks, please, as you are now lugging this very large box. Hawke could carry it on his own. However, it would mean that you were fully encumbered and unable to do anything else. You would be a sitting duck, effectively, moving very slowly through these corridors. But with both of you, you can operate still.
Is it a strength check or a strength saving throw?
It's a strength check. Just roll and add your bonus. Yeah.
Oh, hey. We're okay for ourselves.
I'm not.
Here. Okay.
I'm not going to make you roll again unless you hit some specific obstacle that's going to require it. And the two of you begin carrying on either side this treasure chest. Are you carrying the red enamel box in a bag, or are you carrying
it's in my little like side bag.
Well, it's a cube.
Oh.
But yeah, it's on your back. You can put it into a bag and carry it there. You have one hand each that is a free, so that means that you'll be able to do some things, but you're not going to be able to do everything. If you have multiple attacks, you just reduce it down to one. And that's as long as you're carrying this. You can always set it down and then move normally, but it's going to take another action to pick it back up. Is all that clear? All right. So that's Siraye. Maglo, what would you like to do? Or actually, I'm sorry, Doddle, you're up first. So Doddle, you see these 4 individuals stop in front of you. What would you like to do? They're right here.
So knowing Doddle, she's probably a little teary-eyed because, this isn't the best day in the world. And she's going to inhale and exhale. Look a little bit more serious now. Wipe the tears away from her face and push them towards the bad guys and cast Tidal Wave at them. Please and thank you.
All right. So
And
they
that's-
get dexterity saving throws. Wow.
Wow good? Wow bad?
Is that a good wow or a bad wow?
Yeah.
Unmodified 1, 4, 8, and 10. 10 is the highest. So
love that for us.
They all fail.
Get out the way!
So you are in a bit of luck. You do throw a tidal wave forward. Go ahead and roll the damage.
That I did. Good. Go. Let me refresh real quick. I'll do
Alright.
that. We could just do it the old-fashioned way.
Whatever works for you.
We might have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is give me a moment here. So that's boop. I have to roll a 1 second. Get my dice.
Yeah, there's. Oh shit! No, I dropped it! Oh my god!
As you can see here.
Yeah, somebody start advertising something!
See, this is the difference between Realms Apart and your home game.
Where did it go?
We use Roll20.net that avoids these issues.
Oh my god! I'm fucking lost with that. Oh my god, it's back, thank god. Okay.
Roll20.net is the website, and
With-
Roll20 app is all of their socials. If we ever talk about it, that's just so perfect.
And I very clearly would be so incredibly lost without it. I rolled a 16, and I got 15 bludgeoning damage.
So what was the total damage, Doddle?
15!
You actually throw these guards, these thugs, backwards like ragdolls.
Perfect.
As the water knocks them up against the side of the stone walls with heavy clattering as their armor dents, and you can see their helmets kind of crunch underneath the weight of this wave of water that erupts out of the spit in your hand. And immediately they tossle back and are knocked prone. At that moment, Bretta turns to you. Oi, lass, that's a excellent bit of magic you got there, but we gotta keep moving. Run!
Is she running?
Okay, so do you run past these prone guards?
I don't want to just leave my friends to their mercy, though. How are they looking?
Everyone is rushing behind you. They're just further back.
But how are the guards looking?
They're a right now soggy, huddled mess on the floor. You can run past them if you choose.
Are they looking hurt?
Yeah, they look pretty bad.
They look
off.
pretty hurt.
Yeah.
We'll run for now. We'll run past them, and then we'll see how we feel. How about that?
Yeah, Bretta is going to run with you, and the two of you run past the two guards and move around the corner. It is now Maglo's turn. Maglo, what would you like to do?
So Maglo is hanging in this door, and there's going to be like 3 different points. There's Bretta and Doddle like way ahead. There's Siraye and Hawke carrying the chest and the things, and then Maglo's going to be in the middle. Just so he can't keep eyes on both of them at this point, but is trying to like know where the different groups are. he gave Busby to Doddle because
So
Doddle was
then
freaking
you
out.
hear Busby beeping down the hallway, calling out to you, and because of that, you can kind of gauge the distance that they are. So even though you can no longer see Bretta or Doddle, you have a rough understanding of where they are because of Busby's light and beeping. All right, and they're moving quickly down the corridor. There's a big splash of water that's now dripping down this hallway, and then it kind of magically dissipates.
I imagine Maglo heard a whoa and of other people and crashing against the walls.
Yeah, it was a lot more violent, but yes.
Yes. Right, they're coming in numbers, lads. We gotta get moving. He's gonna say to Siraye and Hawke and load a ray of sickness into his rifle, turn the corner, and wait for either one of the two guards to get up or someone to turn the corner. And then he's gonna...
Yeah, you hit the corner as the other two start dragging this chest slowly kind of through the doorway, and you're ready with this rifle as the guards do begin standing up.
I would get back on the ground if I were you.
You point the gun at them and you threaten them. So make an intimidation check.
3!
I suggest that you shut your dumb face.
He's gonna fire it at him. Fuck. I've never been good at the talk.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the strike.
The 21 to hit.
You hit him square in between the eyes.
Now, buddy, I know it didn't sound intimidating, but I will do the same thing to you.
So Ray of Sickness is going to be a Constitution saving throw. And they're poisoned?
Yeah, it's straight damage and then a con save. If they fail it, then they're going to be poisoned.
Yeah. So not poison, but takes damage. Can you tell me how much damage that is?
8? It's 12 because it's alchemical components. I get a +4.
So don't worry about them being poisoned because that guard just fell down dead. And immediately just kind of like stumbles backwards as this magical energy blasts in their face, and they hit the wall and slide down, and they stop moving. They could technically be saved if you want to bring them back to life, but they are certainly not going to last if no one gives them medical attention. They're on the ground kind of twitching.
If you want them to live, you gotta stay on the ground, bud. I will help, but you gotta stay on the ground.
They look at their fallen companion, look back at you, look at their fallen companion. Oh, fuck him!
All right, bud. Sure thing. And Maglo loads another bullet.
Yeah, you're loading up. So then that takes us to Hawke. Hawke, you and Siraye have already gathered this box. You've worked your way to about here in the room. Is there anything else that you want to do? You can move full speed, but the two of you are kind of tethered together.
Yeah,
so from now on, I'm dropping Siraye's initiative to Hawke's initiative from this point forward. So you will operate on 1.
Okay.
So what do you want to do, Hawke?
So we don't see them, do we?
You don't, because you're not around the corner yet. You see Maglo talking to somebody, and he fires his rifle once.
In that case, jeez, I'm gonna hold my action then.
All right. We'll go back up to the top of the round. Sorry, you're not operating first. It takes us immediately Doddle. Doddle, your group is still behind you. The guards, you hear talking and a gunshot, kind of shouting in the gunshot. Do you want to keep going? The door's right in front of you.
Do I hear Maglo shouting after the gunshot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she's too eager to commit mass murder again. So
yeah, she's gonna actually take a second and consider going back and just trusting her friends are gonna be okay. And she's gonna, I guess we're just gonna run right out of here. Should I dash?
Yeah, you can dash. You can dash. If you can get to the doorway, that would be a very good thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and match Bretta's pace, and I'm assuming she's trying to get out of here as quick as possible.
Bretta's trying to help you. So Bretta stops, and the dwarf, the dirty dwarf woman stops and looks at you. And she levels her gaze at the pit in front of the two of you, and then back to you. Because you've run into that past the secret door, back into the main hallway, and there is that 10-foot wide spiked pit.
Okay.
Listen, lass, I need to wait here for the others to get back here. Now I'm going to toss you over this pit.
Toss me over the pit?
Yeah, no, you're very light. I do not think you'll weigh more than 4 pounds soaking wet. Trust me. Old Bretta will get you right across.
Can I make an insight check? How sure is she?
You can make an insight check if you like.
It's a 7.
You don't know. You don't know is the bottom line. And you feel a pair of meaty hands on you. Do you stop her?
I just lift my arms. You know, like that video of the person picking up the like slow Loris, and he just goes. So Doddle does. She just slowly lifts her arms, like,
this might as well happen. Okay.
Now I'm needing you to get across to the other side and wait for your friends. But be ready and keep your eye.
Okay. Well, I mean, I hope I keep both of them after being tossed across this pit of spikes.
Oh yeah. And now do not move. And she pulls back and flings you over the pit. And you very easily fly over the pit, and then you can make an acrobatics check to gracefully touch down. Otherwise, you're going to fall on your backside.
It's a natural
20. So go ahead and roll again to see how well you roll. Because as it stands, it's pretty graceful. 13. So you do land on your feet, and it's almost as if you just made a little hop, and you stop. Now, see, lass, I told you could do it.
Doddle pulls a Calder and just goes,
I did not doubt it for a moment. Nay. And so you can see Bretta is now very eagerly watching the door. Doddle, you hear more shouts and boot prints from the other corridor as a group of guard immediately turn the corner, and Bretta shouts and starts engaging with them with her massive sword as she's swinging into them and bashing into them, pushing them. It looks like 4 of them, trying to push them back into the corner. Hurry! You got to get out of here!
Okay.
And that was shouted not to you, Doddle, but to your companions down the hallway. Everyone hears Bretta shout. I cannot hold them back much longer!
Okay, I'm gonna...
Maglo, you are up. What do you want to do?
Alright, was that my whole action to just get tossed?
No, I'm sorry, Doddle. If there's something else that you want to do.
Well, I was gonna do as I'm told, and I was gonna run.
You can make all the way to the door, and you hit the door. And if you recall, the door had closed behind all of you.
Oh, no.
It was a stone sliding door.
Oh, no. Beans. Okay. Can I look for a way to open it?
Yeah. Do you remember, because you remember there's the eye with the hand grasping onto it, and it was on a disc, and you remember Bretta sliding the disc. Do you remember the directions that Bretta used to open the door?
No, I haven't finished editing the last session yet, so it's not retained up here. Oh, God. Oh, no.
I will let you make an intelligence check.
Oh, thank you.
To have Doddle recall the pattern, because you know that this disc moves, but you have to remember the motion.
24!
And so Doddle, you take your little goblin hands and you push them up onto the eye, and you slide it all the way over, up, down, and then all the way back past the center to the other side, and then back to the middle, which is the exact opposite of the direction that it was in the other side of the door. So it is... if you had done the exact thing that Bretta had done, that would have been incorrect. Because you're on the other side of the door now. It's the mirrored opposite of it. And so the door immediately rumbles and begins opening slowly in front of you. But it's like watching it as it... And just inches of it are exposed at the moment as you kind of smell the waft of the sewer beyond, as you realize that this is going to take a minute for this door to open all the way. That is Doddle's turn. Maglo, you're up.
Maglo goes up closer to the one guy who's not out. Whereabouts is the door through to the other section? Okay.
I'm giving you a ping right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guards are here. You've got 3 of them, and they do seem like they're standing up trying to get ready to fight you. They're not going to let you pass. They do look pretty badly battered from the tidal wave, though. They are dense, and they're bleeding, and they're bruised, but whatever it is that's motivating them forward, perhaps it's fear, they do not wish to relinquish this fight.
He's made his decision, and Magda's going to shoot him. Shoot the guy who's on the ground.
Okay, so as one of them is pulling themselves up, you fire again. What are you shooting? You're just shooting with a normal shot?
Yeah, let's go with a normal shot.
All right.
Gosh.
As the individual is still prone, that is still a hit. So your damage is what?
12.
Yeah, there's a ringing bullet shot as a musket ball is fired in the corridor, and you hear as one of the thugs falls backwards, a gout of blood rising out of their chest as it pierces through their armor and falls back dying on the floor. There are 2 left. Maglo, do you have anything else that you want to do?
Nope. He's just gonna run to the as far as he can, which is there.
Okay, so you move there. You're now standing amongst the guards. 2 of them attempt to swing at you with their swords, but they miss because they are still on the ground and they roll with disadvantage. So they are very clumsily slashing at you with their swords, hitting stone and just clamoring around you as you start to kind of move around. And you hear Busby wildly beeping very far away. So wherever Doddle is right now, Busby is like... But, I mean, your little brass automaton is quite a distance away from you.
Yep.
All right, so that is it for Maglo. Maglo, you've ended your action right there. Hawke and Siraye, operating on 1. Siraye, you had a held action. What do the 2 of you want to do?
I think, do we want to move?
Do you want to dash? Or do you want to move?
I still have my held action, too.
Okay. I say we move to the edge as far as we can in movement, and then we attack whatever is attacking Maglo.
Yeah,
we need to get them out of the way anyway.
You can get right here with just a regular 30-foot move. Okay, so you can get right here to the corner if you just do that.
All right, I'm gonna turn to Siraye and say, "Let me try something real quick."
Okay.
I really want to try this. All right, do we see them?
Yeah.
All right.
They're swinging wildly at Maglo.
I go to the one that I just first see, and I point my finger at him, and then my eyes kind of glow with this purplish light, and then it fades, and I make this circular movement with my fingers, and as I do, they kind of appear astral, then these iron feathers kind of ring around his head, swirl around, then turn sideways and go, and they kind of cut into his skull just a little bit, and I cast Crown of Madness on him.
Woo!
All right, Crown of Madness is a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, DC 15.
Okay, and the individual is racked with these ethereal black thorns that appear out of the energy in the air, and they grasp onto the face as the individual screams. He fails.
And I command him to attack his friend.
And so he
just use that as a distraction.
He drops his sword and leaps on top of his companion, and immediately tries to strangle his ally, as the 2 of them are wrestling on the ground in front of Maglo. All the rest of you are able to move now. There are no opponents in front of you, and at the end of the round, Siraye, you have an action. What do you want to do?
Okay, so no one's there now.
Well, there are 2 opponents that are fighting each other on the ground. You can move past them.
Yeah, let's move. Can I use this action? I know Hawke can't move, but we can't move right? Because he used his action.
You both already moved, so your action is happening at the same time. So
Right,
Hawke has already
so-
used his action.
So
What do you wanna
I'll
do? You can't dash if that's what you're
right.
asking. 'cause
Yeah.
You got to
Because
wait
I have
for
the
Hawke.
thing. So I'll hold my action then.
You can't hold your action. It's the end of the round. So you're just going to let go of your action?
Yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
can't do anything. So.
Okay, great. So back up to the top of the round, Doddle. The doorway is open enough for you to slide under. Do you want to wait for your allies, or do you want to go?
I was told to leave for my friends, and I don't think I could leave without them.
As it slowly starts opening up, it's only about eye level to you right now. So it's about 3 feet, 4 feet up off the ground, and it's slowly raising up. You hear shouts of steel, and you see behind you, Bretta is fighting furiously against 4 opponents, and she is bleeding heavily as she continues to swipe at each of them, holding them back alone, while your companions continue to move slowly forward.
She's too far
So
away.
Maglo, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
Wait, she's too far away for me to do anything, right? Oh god. 120 feet, so...
Okay,
I'm gonna hurl some not fireballs, whoa. I'd
That'd
like
fix the
to...
problem, but it also caused another one.
Yeah, I'd like to hurl some more scorching rays at the people fighting her. Please and thank you, just like baseballs.
All right, so you're going to throw some scorching rays.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll each of them. All of them strike, and yeah, you do manage to bat off. One of them misses, but you do manage to bat off some of the opponents off of Bretta, buying Bretta enough space to be able to fight. She's clearly a very skilled warrior, and fighting these 4 opponents, while it is very taxing for her, it doesn't seem like an impossible deed. And she's covered in her own blood and some of theirs. One of them, she takes the advantage, steps forward, and her enormous sword swings outward, and she cleaves across them, and they fall. So now she's only facing 3 opponents, thanks to your support with the firebolts.
Doddle's just pacing and hopping up and down like a kid that has to go to the bathroom. And I'm done.
All right. And Maglo, you are free to act now. Are you dashing, or are you doing something else?
He's not dashing. He's gonna run the 30 foot. Can he look past the door now?
You can see here, you see light flickering, and you hear the clamor of a fight happening. Steel on steel and armor clanging.
Okay. He's gonna dash then, since he kind of needs to get in the space. So he's going to run to here.
And as you do, you barely duck as a blade, a longsword, swings over your head, and you see Bretta fighting with a number of guards. Oi, lad, keep moving!
Fuck, I can't, because it's actually, yeah,
Don't argue with me, smart boy.
I'm not arguing, the others aren't here yet, though, so that's half the party. I can help at the minute.
So what do you want to do when you get... Well, you don't have an action because you've already started dashing. Now, here's the thing. You can use the rest of your dash to jump over the pit, or you can stay here.
No, he's gonna... Yeah, he is gonna... He stumbles into the room and then is going to try and use the rest of his dash to leap across and then fire from the other side.
All right, so you're going to jump over. You'll be able to fire next round, but you jump over.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll your acrobatics.
Acrobatics is terrible. Oh, 15. Hey.
Okay, so you do manage to roll very roughly onto the other side, and you grab your weapon and you start to prepare yourself for the next round where you can shoot. Siraye and Hawke, let's finish your action.
Hawke, what do you want to do? Do you want to... I guess we should just keep running since those 2 are fighting.
Yeah, that's gonna take them some time.
All right.
I think I've never done that before.
All right, so let's dash then. So that way we're doing 60 feet, and that'll probably get us to the door.
Great, sprinting, wonderful. I'm good with cardio. I love cardio. Let's go.
Yeah, so the 2 of you get here, you get to the other side of the door, we'll say, so just move yourself to the pit, and you will be unable to do an additional move. Now, Bretta is fighting here, and fighting 3 of the thugs for the grasping eye. She looks back to the 2 of you,
I don't know how much longer I can hold them back. You got to get moving, both of you.
Let's just throw this chest over and we can help you out.
Wait, hold on. And I'm gonna get into my pack, and I'm gonna, in my dungeoneering pack, I have a rope, and I'm gonna tie one side of the rope to the chest, and then I also have a pinion, and I'm gonna take out my pinion, tie the rope to the pinion, and I'm gonna throw it over to Maglo, and I'm gonna tell him, hook this somewhere where it won't, where we have tension, so that way we can get across both the chest and people across safely.
All right, great, 100%.
Come on, Brad, we can get across.
We're going back up to the top of the round. Doddle, the door is halfway open. It is sliding in front of you. You hear the clamor of a fight behind you. The stench of the sewer and the darkness of those cavernous passageways lie in front of you. And you get this very cold shiver down your spine. Make a wisdom saving throw.
What?
What?
What is happening?
What?
Boof.
21. I'm a very wise little goblin.
Something feels wrong. As you stand there and the door opens and you look back as Maglo, Siraye, and Hawke are pulling this chest across, and you see Siraye and Maglo leaping over the pit. And then Bretta turns, pushing back her opponents and preparing to leap. And you watch as she digs down, and you can see the skill that this dwarf uses and her ability to move and maneuver in these sorts of settings. This is like a second home to the old dwarf. As her filthy face is clearly locked upon your eyes for a moment, you see as she leaps across the pit to the others. And a red pseudopod shoots out from the pit, grabbing onto the dwarf and pulling her down below.
What?
And that's where we're going to leave it. Until next time.
Today was so brutal and full of sads.
Murders happened today
How did the
again,
last
and I
session
love
end?
it.
How did the last session end?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't finished editing it yet.
It ended
Pseudopod.
with Siraye getting grabbed by that pseudopod. Yeah.
Okay, because no joke, just now my eyes darted correctly to everyone's faces because I was like, "Oh, this person's gonna react this way." You all reacted the exact same way.
Oh, that's so
And so I was
fun.
like, "Is this deja vu?"
It's on Nemesis now.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's a lot.
Thank you, Nox.
Hey.
That was wonderful.
Thank you, Nox.
Come on, murder.
All
And I
right.
hope that you all rest well.
Hey, what about
Mate, that was like a beginning, middle,
Bye,
and
Greta.
end of brutality. That was like beginning. We
Incredible.
opened with child murder, and
Yeah.
then in the middle there was the brutal murder of a friend,
Yeah.
and then in the end there it was the brutal
We might
murder
need-
of another friend.
We might need a content warning on this one.
Yeah.
To make
Oh,
that
absolutely,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah, especially when you were like, "Oh yeah, she snaps his neck and throws his dead body." I was like, "Excuse me."
Oh, it was good.
Excuse?
Wow.
Mate.
Yeah. Wow.
I was like, it's snail. I love snails.
Spicy.
That freaking, oh gosh, like the moment
Bruh.
Meg threw the trident.
Oh, so
Yeah.
cool.
Mate,
Guys,
so sick. Yeah.
I really
I'm
want.
so
Man with that
glad.
I
trident.
really want to hang out with Filthy Meg at some point, and I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
she's
So
like,
much.
I get the vibe that she's gonna want to turn me in, but holy hell, do I want us to be chill?
I'm so happy right now. Like, this could not have been a better spot to leave Cal at the moment. It's just, like, personally, I'm very excited for his new adoptive mermaid mom. So
Okay, I am
I'm gonna-
starving, so I
I'm going to stop the
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.